All right, welcome to another episode of the Jumping the Rail podcast. This is Mark Rebin coming to you from the Noodles position in Champaign, Illinois, tightly tethered to my computer as we speak, and joined by my buddy Menders. Menders, how's it going?
It's going okay. I felt all memorial today. Did you notice?
I
I'm all
see that.
memorial today.
Nice, nice. That's a nice shirt. I
Mo-
think I have that shirt somewhere.
yeah. Yeah, and then I got
I think
I just got it in the mail yesterday, my little moth to represent Bray Wyatt. So I'm
very
excited.
nice. You're missing the headdress thing for the Iron Sheik.
Yeah, no, no.
That might get you in trouble though.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I don't need to go there. We love the Sheik though.
We do
All
love the
right,
sheep.
so yeah, I am literally connected to my computer by the shortest charging cable ever designed.
I'm I'm laughing because I'm connected to mine too, but look how long my cord is. I have
Oh
a
yeah, rub
long
it in, why
cord.
don't you? Rub it in. I could,
I'm pretty good at that.
yeah, I may have to send a message to the wife because she has a long cord that would work on this in the car, but she's not home right now, so maybe I
Ah.
can get her to bring that in as when she gets home.
Hey,
So
speaking of, you
as we
left a
do,
cord in my car too
damn it,
from
that
the
little
Terre
yeah.
Haute show. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, we don't use that one very often, so we weren't missing it.
Okay.
I don't want to write in all caps. I don't want to think I'm mad at her.
Yeah, please don't do that. But I did catch a show this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I went to
that
New
was
Version
so yeah,
Wrestling over in
new
Danville.
version. Yes, yes. And how was that? Your buddy Jimmy was there.
My buddy Jimmy was there. He destroyed Cecil. He
Cecil
yelled a few
Cerveza, for those
things.
that don't know.
Yeah, Cecil Cerveza. Yeah, he didn't. He took care of business. We'll put it that way. Only the way Jimmy can. So
And as I understand, he scared children.
yes, he did. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It was one of the funniest things because like there was this little girl. Okay, she's up at him. She starts screaming at him. She's getting in his face, pointing her finger. And then Carrot's sitting there taking it just kind of nonchalant or whatever. And then all of a sudden he turned around and looked at her, like took off after her, and she screamed to an octave I don't even want to go near. And she ran back to like her little seat and was like, "Yeah, I'm not coming back out."
Oh,
Oh, it was great. That was
reminiscent
what
of
they wanted.
Chuck Taylor in IWA Mid South.
We had let's
He
see, we
was
had
known to
DC.
yell at children.
Yeah, DC Black was there. Got to see some Iron Cakes.
So how was the atmosphere with those two? Because they're feuding in 01 presently.
Well, but they're not feuding at all at New Version Wrestling. They were very they were very in tune. In fact,
Well, they're a very
Devontae
good tag team.
was Devontae was showing his not so nice side. So
Hmm.
it was a nice change of pace, I'm not gonna lie. So but they
Heel
went
cakes
against
is a good touch.
yeah. They went against Tyler Scott and Dalton Davis.
Tyler's our buddy. He's the Danville guy,
Tyler's our we
and
like Dalton too. Dalton's
we
our
do.
Bud Light buddy from over at
Yeah,
Hybrid, and
dilly dilly.
it's it's nice to talk about all these other promotions that we go to. I can talk about them on
Yeah,
this show.
yeah, yeah. We try to keep mum about some of those when we're doing the 01 podcast, unless there's a 01 talent involved. We'll get into
Right.
it there. We have
Let's
of
see.
let's see
Yes.
here. I'm looking. Oh no, go ahead. I'm just making sure I got all my ducks in a row here.
I got to see Big Al, Alice Crowley.
Alice
She went
Crowley, she is
against.
so good.
She is really good. She went against Blair Onyx. That was really good. It's
She's
really
good too.
weird for me. It's weird for me to see Big Al as a baby face, though.
Really,
Like
that's how
I'm
I first got to know her was as a baby face.
no, first time I saw her, she was heel, and you know me, I love my heels.
Yeah, but
So
she's such a cute girl. She's just a pup, you know. So
no,
her as a heel, it took me a while to get used to her as a heel.
I love it. It's great. Um, let's see. Oh, our good old buddy Clayton Clark, or as I like to call him, Bang Bang
Ah,
Bart.
yes. I still need to see him and Johnny Poke as a team.
Is that EPV? Is that EPW or is that Envision? Which one is that?
I
It's
honestly
one of
don't
the
know. I just
Indiana ones. It's one of the
right.
Indiana ones down by Evansville.
Let's bring those two in to challenge for the 0-1 tag titles sometime in the near future.
Well, we'll see. We'll have to both. Hey,
Oh, hey,
hey!
David
It's
Cavazos for 0-1 is in the chat. Hey, David,
I would say it's our boss man for the other show.
he's so helpful. So,
He
Minders,
is.
we have a big couple of a couple guest announcements to make today. Should we wait until the end of the show to do?
No,
You want to do one now and then do one
let's
later?
do one now and one later.
Okay, I'll do the one that you're aware of first. Then
Okay.
I did it. I booked another one last night during Raw because I had to take a break from
Raw
watching
was
every
on.
now and
What
then.
else were you gonna do?
That's true. Okay, so we got a big get, Minders, for October the 3rd, and we've had some fairly big names on this show in the past. We had Bill Alfonso, we had Barry Horowitz,
Hmm.
Joe Galli from the NWA, guys like that. But this, I think, is our first former ECW World Champion is going to be joining us on October 3rd. So I think we can say that that episode will not just be the coolest Menders, it will not just be the best, it will be just incredible. Because Just Incredible is coming on the show in 2 weeks,
How
and we could
excited
not
are
be
you?
happier.
I would say, how
I'm
excited
on
are you?
I'm floating right now. This is awesome. And this came out of the blue. He had made a tweet saying he was looking for podcasts, and Narge, our buddy, like retweeted it to me. So I was like, you know what, I'll take a shot, and I DM'd him, and he was all for it. He's ready to do it. So we're gonna do that in 2 weeks. Maybe get Barry involved. He knows quite a bit
I
about
think we
ECW
definitely need to
also.
get Bari involved because
Yeah,
I'm gonna do some research, but
right.
because I wasn't quite an ECW,
Because
and it's killing me to watch all these ECW matches, but
yeah, uh, yeah, you had to do a little homework for today's episode too with the ECW. So,
a little
but yeah,
bit.
yeah. I got a feeling that Just Incredible interview is going to be pretty ECW heavy. We might get into the like his early WWF run a little bit, depending. And then yeah, you never know because he was one of my favorites in ECW. He was such a good heel. He was in that post Douglas era of ECW
Yeah.
as the top heel in the company. So yeah, that's going to be a fun one. So make sure you join us in 2 weeks for that one. And then you know what?
What the hell?
I'll
Go
say
ahead and
the
do
other
the.
one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's a guy I don't know if you're real familiar with, Menders, but a guy that I go back with to when I used to go to IWA Mid-South shows about 15 years ago. Uh, do you remember a tag team called the Iron Saints by any chance?
I've been mentioning.
It was like a three-man team of the Tomaselli brothers, Vito, then Brandon and Sal. Well, Brandon changed his ring name to Paulie Tomaselli. He's still working up north, doing a lot of the Chicago Indies and all that. And he is actually
Okay.
going to join us the next episode after on the 17th. He's
Okay.
gonna call and join us. So Paulie Tomaselli is gonna be joining us. That'll be I think a cool conversation
So
because
October's
he's kind of
packed
done
with
everything.
great
It's
guests, is
loaded.
basically.
Yeah. And then we still have to, we have I guess Halloween's going to fall on show day, so we need to figure out if we're going to do something goofy for Halloween.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
We'll see. See, because I just realized that kind of works out because we're off the week that I'll be gone, hopefully. So
Oh yeah,
that'll,
or to Dirty Vegas.
yeah, hopefully, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see what they say tomorrow.
Yes, fingers crossed. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so we got a cool show planned. We've been teasing this fantasy supercard thing for a few weeks now, and today over the last couple weeks, you, me, Barry, and AJ, our buddies, we kind of put our heads together, booked the matches, and then yesterday we booked the finishes and all this stuff. So we're kind of run through that here in a bit. We're actually waiting on Barry to jump in because he's going to help us out with that.
Let's say what we could do is kind of run through the matches a little bit if you want to. Run through the matches a little bit because I helped in making the matches, but you guys took care of all the finishes.
Right, right.
I
Well,
didn't
first
I didn't
off,
step on any toes there.
Well, what we'll do first off, we'll go into the personnel, not the talent. I decided to book the referees and the whatnots and everything. First off,
Oh, you
I wish this was a real commentary team, Menders.
is this
Joey Styles and Danhausen on commentary. You got to have an AEW guy and an
all the
ECW guy.
monies? All the monies.
I just picture Danhausen trying to curse everyone who cuts a promo from ECW for the foul language. The picture looks like I just pieced this picture together with two separate images. This looks like if Joey Styles reacted to seeing Danhausen for the first time.
Yeah, it does. You did a good job on this one. I like it.
I try. Uh, so yeah, so that's our announced team for this one. I didn't think we needed Excalibur for this show. Uh,
No. No. We well, I would have been okay with Taz.
Taz is busy. He's
But
got
Taz
a
is
match.
both. I would say he's both.
I think if he had his brothers, he would rather be in the ring, especially with
Oh,
the
I'm
match we
sure he
got him in.
would.
Uh,
Exactly.
so we had to put together our crew here. So here's what we got. Our referees, I did two from each. So I got Jim Molyneux and John Finnegan from ECW, Bryce Rimsberg and Paul Turner from AEW.
Thank
Renee
goodness.
Moxley
I'm
Good, as Jim
so
Cornette
glad
calls
you
her.
don't have Aubrey on there.
No Aubrey, no corpse referee, Rick
No
Knox.
corpse referee.
No. Renee Paquette, my wife's favorite person in wrestling, is the backstage interviewer. Our ring announcer is the great Bob Ortiz from ECW. And I made the judgment call to book this show at the ECW arena. I didn't think we need to do it at Daly's place.
Nah, I like it at the ECW feels better.
Yeah. So I am going to make a disclaimer. There is no Hangman Page. There is no Kenny Omega. There is no Young Bucks. Because I like to think that they showed up and then got run out of the locker room by the ECW veterans. But
That was kind of the
no,
consensus in the van, honestly.
I think so. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we didn't need them. We have a stat card on here. I'll just
We
run through
do.
I'll run through
Well,
the top of the card. Our main
wait,
event.
hey, wait, instead of doing that, let's run through. Do you still have some of our honorable mention matches that didn't get picked?
Uh, I know some of them off the top of my head. I think we had. Shoot, I'm trying to remember now.
Because y'all should have seen this. There
I
was
think
all of us in the van.
Jungle Boy against New Jack was one of them.
Oh yeah, that was. But then we switched it because we put New Jack somewhere else.
New Jack is still going to be there, but he's got a different gig going on.
Different gig. But yeah, we wanted that just to watch him take care of Perry.
Yeah.
So.
I think we had something with the Blue World Order against the Best Friends.
Oh yeah.
Was one of them.
Yeah.
I
wish I could
pitched
remember.
Blue Meanie versus Daniel Garcia dance off, but you guys poo-pooed that one pretty quick.
Yeah, we poo-pooed that one real fast. But yeah, we ended up with what we had just by running through different ones. We had 25 matches.
We had 25 matches. We had to cut that down, so we got to cut down to 15, which is still for a Tony card not too bad.
Not too bad. Still a little heavy.
It's a little long. We could make this a two-parter. Well, we'll go through all of them today, but we could say it was two different shows.
Yeah, there you go. They did it like WrestleMania. We did it like WrestleMania. We had Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
So.
Right. So I'll just run through the big matches at the top of the card here. Our main event is going to be the franchise Shane Douglas and MJF. No titles on the line in this show because we're going by the assumption that you can't jump territories with the.
And you have to understand they're both in their prime, and we don't have a time machine. So keep in consideration all these guys are in their prime.
Yeah, the ECW guys we picked this is assuming that they are in the same condition and look the same as they did when they were in ECW in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that's our main event. We also have Taz and Samoa Joe, which
this
stiff.
Real stiff.
Yeah. The only crossover match we have, Vendors, is our tag match. We have Tommy Dreamer and Eddie Kingston against Raven and Chris Jericho.
Yup.
It just makes sense. Dreamer and Kingston, they're both from Yonkers. They're both do the hardcore, tough guy style, I'm curious how
And
we're gonna have Raven coexisting with Jericho.
yeah, that was my question. Raven's just gonna smack him upside the head and say, "You're listening to me. I am the leader of this." Well, granted,
Yeah,
if we
this
take
could.
Jericho though at his prime, we would
Well,
be
no, this
about that
is
era.
the
So,
theory is this is AEW Jericho. This isn't
oh
ECW
god,
Jericho.
okay, never mind. I had a good
Yeah,
plan, but they went poo poo on
yeah,
my plan.
yeah. Then a couple other ones that we've got for this one. We got this. That might be my favorite one that we booked here. The Eliminators against FTR. Uh, I watched a handful of Eliminators matches today because I've been watching some ECW this weekend going into the week. And man, they were so good. So everybody was thinking, oh, why don't you have the Dudleys against FTR? But I think the Eliminators make for a better matchup with
Yeah.
FTR.
Plus,
Let's
didn't we
see.
have the Dudleys doing something else anyway.
We got the Dudleys. Let's see here.
You know,
They got
we're
the Lucha
probably
Brothers.
there. Yeah, there you go. You're we're probably disappointing, Dwayne, but he's not here, so
Well, I know we are because he wanted a specific match that we did not want,
no,
so we need to
that
give.
we all ixnayed in the car. We were like, no, no,
Yeah,
we don't want it.
yeah. Dwayne suggested Moxley against the Sandman. We said, nah,
No,
we don't need to go there. We can do better, and we did. This is the last one
we'll
we'll
tease.
stooge off at the beginning. Uh, here you go. Masato Tanaka and John Moxley. If Moxley wants to get rough, then Tanaka can oblige him
Yeah, let's get
in
rough.
this case. If Moxley wants to no-sell weapons, then Tanaka can do that just as well as he can.
Yep.
So that's just a few of the matches we got planned for our Supercard here. And hopefully we'll make this a semi-regular thing with other territories, companies involved.
Well,
But before we get into,
didn't we already kind of think about another one? We'd already said what our next one's going to be.
yeah, we have. I think we got it figured out. We'll
I'm
wait to
excited
divulge
for
it though.
that one. I'll have a lot more
Yeah,
to say about that one.
right. Uh, well, before we get into any of the fantasy stuff, we should probably talk about the elephant in the room, Menders.
Which one?
Uh, Friday on SmackDown, The
Oh,
Rock came back.
yeah.
Surprised everybody. He wasn't announced for the show. He just happened to pop in during Austin Theory's promo.
Happened to
And
pop in. Yeah, right.
you know what? You say what you want. That tells me just how high they are on Theory.
Oh,
Look at all
yeah.
the shit he's gotten to do in the last 2 years. Stuff with Austin, Cena, Edge, Rock, Brock.
Exactly.
He's not winning all the time, but man, he's getting the rub from all these legends,
They
and
all
he's
see what
still.
Austin is, and I think Theory, he's gonna be big. Few more years, and he's gonna be either the main face or main heel of WWE.
I agree. Uh, Responding to the wife, she's hoping she gets
I
it back in
figured.
time with the long cord. Uh, so The Rock went on the Pat McAfee show before, and McAfee was there too at SmackDown. Their show was in Boulder at the University of Colorado, and then they hopped on the bus and went to Denver for the SmackDown taping. And when The Rock was on the McAfee show, he had made a pretty bold statement saying that the match at WrestleMania 39 was all but locked in with him and Roman, but it wound
Mhm.
up falling through. And then he started teasing the possibility of him and Roman at 40, which has some people kind of annoyed, Menders, because everybody and their mother is convinced that that's the night that Cody is supposed to beat Roman, finish his story, win the title, all that stuff.
Hey, to take a page out of, I believe it was AJ in our chat this week when we were all talking about this, that said they could see Cody maybe taking it off Roman at Royal Rumble.
That was actually one of my suggestions.
Was that you? Okay. I
Yeah.
can never remember because sometimes I
So,
don't get them until like 14 of them have come through. So
I know, I know. No, that was one of my ideas. The other one I thought of is Mania is 2 nights. They could have it one night Cody wins the belt from Roman. The next night Roman takes on The Rock non-title. Or vice versa.
Would Roman be willing to do that though?
That's the question. If it's The Rock, I think he would. I would like to think that he's got that old school mentality, being a third generation, second generation guy, where he would want to do business if asked to. But
My only
I
other
mean,
concern, what movies does Rock have coming up? I know
right
right
now
now
nothing.
everybody's on
There's a
strike. I
strike.
know everybody's on strike right now, which is why I think is
Uh,
that Rock's there. But
that's my guess. I'm thinking it won't be long before we see Batista, because he's probably in the same boat. We got Cena and The Rock already, but Batista, maybe Hogan, all the other ones. I'm kidding,
no,
not Hogan. He hasn't done a movie since Santa with Muscles or one of
exactly.
those. But yeah, it's all this depends on the strike, because it could very easily happen where the strike ends, Rock goes back to work, and he's not available for WrestleMania.
Exactly.
So it's all wild speculation at this point. But
But it's
I
also
mean,
not doing a favor for Vince. It would be doing a favor for Endeavor. And what type of
mhm,
agreement does Rock want to
Endeavor,
have with Endeavor?
and also what kind of main event does Endeavor want? Do they want to have Cody,
Yeah.
who's the hot baby face, or do they want multi-million-dollar megastar The Rock, who everybody's heard of, to be their main event?
Well, they're going to need to do some more with Cody then because right now, in my opinion, he's fizzling.
I don't think he's fizzling. He's still getting the pops. He's still getting the reactions and
He
everything.
gets the
But they just,
pops, but
after
I
Brock,
still
they don't have a lot for him right now. But he's making
exactly.
do.
Yeah.
He's doing the thing with Jay. I don't know where that's going to lead to. Uh, he's doing the little feud with the Judgment Day. But yeah, I think they said when Jay came over that they had to send somebody from Raw over to SmackDown. They haven't decided who yet. I think it's got to be Cody.
Yeah.
I think Cody goes to SmackDown. He's got a whole bunch of fresh talent. He can interact with like LA Knight, Roman, and Paul,
The
all
promos
these
with
people.
Cody and LA White have me or Eli.
LA
What did
White?
I just say? What did I just say?
You said
LA
LA White.
Knight? Yeah, I don't know.
I think there's a
LA White.
Photoshop I could combine him and Theo White into one guy.
No, no, no. But anyway, could you imagine just the promos with LA Knight and
And
Cody? Yes,
I'm I'm a little
please.
I'm a little disappointed we didn't get an LA Knight Rock interaction on Friday.
That'd been fun too.
Yeah, Kevin Nash would have pissed himself because he's been saying that LA Knight's a Rock ripoff.
But yeah,
Oh my god.
like I
So
said,
so many questions.
well, and the thing, like you said, Roman doesn't need to have the belt for Roman and Rock to be something.
No.
It doesn't need to have a belt.
Yeah.
Um, but there's a lot of people that don't understand that. I think that's because
No.
now everything is built around the belts all the time,
Hmm.
and I get that they're built around the belts. I understand that,
I will say this:
but the
I don't
guys
want
that I
Cody to win the Rumble again.
no, I don't either. I want
That's
LA
why
Knight to win the Rumble.
I think that's probably who they're probably thinking of going with. With Cody, that's why I suggested at first Cody and Roman at the Rumble. Make that the main event.
Yeah, that would keep
Everybody's going to
Cody out of
expect it at
winning.
WrestleMania, but have
Yeah.
it happen at the Rumble, because they never have a title change at the Rumble anymore.
Mm-mm.
I think last time was maybe, shit. It's been a long time, because
Yeah.
it's always either at the Chamber or it's at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But
Well, and you got to think though. We keep saying that, but I wish I knew more where Damian Priest's head was when we start talking titles, especially because I mean he's got that
hmm
briefcase, and it's
hmm
hard to. I still think it's going to be on
I
Seth, but
I think so, especially with the story they're telling now with his back, and he's
yeah,
been getting his ass kicked by Shinsuke. I could see it being where Seth squeaks by Shinsuke at the rematch, whenever that's going to be, and then that's when we get the cash in from Priest. Rollins gets a little bit of time off to hang out with the kiddo, and Becky, she's doing the NXT thing right now, so
yeah.
it's
Are we gonna? Okay? Are we ready to talk about another elephant in the room?
why not?
Nia Jax is back.
Now that's not nice.
No, I don't
Calling
mean it
Nia
like that.
Jax an
I don't mean it
elephant.
that way.
Shame
I
on
did
you.
not mean I look at me. Come on. Am I really gonna be that stupid? Come on now. No,
All
it's
right,
just
that's fair. But
see?
the way he was
But
so happy last week,
oh, he was so ecstatic.
he was over the
And
moon. His
I
his
rolled
love
my
was for back.
eyes and I rolled my eyes and she came when
Congratulations to Nia. Congratulations to Nia for hitting the leg drop on the apron and not damaging her hole.
yeah, yeah, there was no my hole afterwards. So I hadn't watched Raw because I don't remember what was going on that night. Something was going on that night. I didn't catch Raw, so I had taped it. I watched it. I get this text message.
Taped.
Okay, I recorded it on my Sling. Okay, whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm full of it today.
You are. You've been full of it all day, but that's beside the
Uh,
point. But I get this
I
text
usually
message
am.
from one of our buddies over at Hybrid that likes to sit with us, and his little boy adores me.
Hmm.
And I get this
He's
message
your
that says,
co-conspirator. You can say it.
"My yeah, he is my co-conspirator. After the past 2 shows, he's definitely my co-conspirator." But
Hmm.
so I get this message that says, "Have you watched Raw?" And I said, "No." He goes, "I'm not telling you, but tell me what you think after you watch it." So I'm like, "Okay, what happened?" Because I don't get messages like that unless something major
Juicy.
happens. Yeah. And I I think my response was, "Why? Effing why?" were my two
I can
was
I
my
guess
whole thing.
can I guess what your face looked like when you saw Nia Jax come back?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, yeah, it was something like that. But my eyes weren't quite that big. But yeah, the distaste in my mouth was,
She
yeah.
got. It didn't take her 10 minutes to get hate on the internet from from just about everybody saying
Nope.
the. No, I forget. Was it the leg drop or was it the bonsai drop that they
It was the
were?
bonsai drop.
Okay, yeah, that one looked a little
That was
sketchy.
what Stevie went off on. Stevie Richards went off on the bonsai
Yeah,
drop.
right. I noticed last night she was a little safer with it with Shayna,
She was.
but I think she
Eh,
likes Shayna. I don't think she knows Rhea. Plus, maybe she
well,
thought Rhea was tough. She could take it,
well,
or maybe she just doesn't
all
give a shit.
well, eh, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I put Nia effing Jax. Really? And that was all I put when I sent my
Yeah.
message. Uh, I
Apparently,
if she's
apparently she
gonna be
was one of Vince's last hires. So
yeah, thanks, Vince. Thanks for that.
just a little, nice little parting shot there.
Yeah, thanks for that jab to the gut. We
It'd be
appreciate
great,
it.
pal.
But I'm not a fan. I hope she's safer than she used to be. Everybody's like, "Oh," she's like,
Agreed.
I never heard all these." I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
she didn't hurt him, but she came really close to.
Yeah. Well, there was
How many times
Charlotte.
did she almost? Yeah, she almost broke Charlotte's neck. She broke Becky's
Yeah.
face. I mean, granted, that worked out well for Becky, but
Well, that
still.
worked for Becky, but still, yeah. I mean, I just can't. I can't fathom. Now, granted, Nia looked good though. It
Well,
looks like she's
she
she's
did.
slimmed down a little bit or got some muscle, and she looked good. She looked great. But here's my other question: why couldn't they have done something like this with Piper? In my opinion, Piper's
Yeah,
safer. Piper,
yeah.
I like Piper. I'm glad they got away from
Her
Dewdrop.
accent is delightful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
matey. That's what she says.
right. But it's just I don't know. That's kind of my view
Plus, they
on
had.
it. Nia has to do a lot to prove me wrong at this point. So
Plus, I didn't like that Nia squashed Piper last night.
yeah, me neither.
She just ran right through her. There's a couple things last night that I didn't like. Why is Kofi Kingston kicking out of a 300-pound man doing a moonsault?
I can't even say Vince because Vince doesn't run
No,
it anymore.
that's almost Tony booking.
I know.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Um, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot
Overall, I
right
like the
now.
show, but yeah, there's just a few things that left me scratching my head last night.
See, now
Uh,
I'm more focused right now on watching the Intercontinental title.
mm-hmm. Gunta.
That's Daddy, Champa,
Yeah, we're getting ready to get Gunther and Ciampa, it looks like,
and I'm
which I'm all
super
for because I
excited.
love the match I had at NXT.
Yes, I'm super excited. But I hope they push Champa more because he's so good. He's so good.
Now, I keep coming back to this question: are they going to put the belt on Ciampa, or are they holding Ciampa until Gargano comes back?
I think they're holding Champa
I think
because
Gable has a pretty firm claim to that title after the match they had a couple
here
weeks ago.
I get that. I understand that. But then what just happened last night? Because I messaged you about it as soon as it happened.
Oh, I'm not going to
And
get mad at Bronson Reed beating Gable, and that wasn't quite as one-sided as I think you thought it was. Gable was selling the finger quote knee injury, and Bronson got the win. There's nothing wrong with that, and I'm glad they're getting Bronson
I
some
know, but
wins.
oh, I have no problems with that. It's just
But
how can
wins
you
and losses don't matter in WWE.
I guess in my head they do, but
Well, they should. I'll agree
they
with you there.
should. But
All right, you showed up on a monitor when Mama was working. You're doing it here too.
where is Noodles' headphones?
Oh, we
You
don't
have to
have a tiny headset for Noodles yet.
yet.
She's not happy. She's like, "Why did you do that?
Yeah, no kidding. You
Are you
moved
waiting for
me,
Mama to get home?"
of course.
It's like it has to be
Um,
her idea.
yeah, because I just remember I I don't know. I and see Bronson Reed and Tommaso had the thing going on, and I didn't feel like they ever really finished that up. But whatever, I'm okay with it.
They don't worry so much
But
about the mid card as they used to back in the day.
they don't, and it's
Their
sad
main
because
focus right now is Gunther, Judgment Day are the things I think they're focused the most on, and Seth and Nakamura.
Seth and Nakamura. But it's like
They
I
don't have
miss
much
the days.
thinking about Rhea right now.
No, what are they going to do
I mean,
next? What can they do next? Well, right now she's hurt,
probably
but
not. They'll probably have her and Nia, I would guess. But she can't be the heel. She's gonna be the baby face when that
I
happens.
know how can that can't work. Well, I guess it can. It is WWE, but it makes no sense
No, but it
because with
does make
Nia coming
dollars.
in is, here's the thing.
I just wanted to use the wordplay. But
I'm sure you did. Here's the thing though. If everything else that we're hearing is true, I want to see Rhea and Jade.
I'd be down for that. Everybody's saying they want Jane and or Jane, Jade and Bianca, which eventually maybe, but
Eventually,
yeah,
but Bianca
Rhea,
doesn't have a belt
Rhea
right
and
now.
Jade.
So, yeah.
I'm down for it. Because
Let
that's the big
let
story.
Jade come in
She's
as a
apparently
baby
done with
face. Yeah.
right.
Let her come in as a baby face and go from there. But I guess she'll probably have to go through NXT for a while and that's understandable, but
From what
it
I heard that they were gonna skip NXT. She's gonna go to the PC for a bit, maybe get some polishing. But I think they're gonna move her out to the main roster because she has the name.
right.
She's mildly recognizable.
Well, then let me ask you this. How did you feel about Becky winning the NXT belt? Because
I was
I'm
okay with
torn.
it.
I'm torn.
I was okay with it because Tiffany Stratton is a great athlete. I love her character, but she's still greener than goose shit right now.
She her ring work leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, and but I think that's why they do this, where they bring in the veterans to work with the young guys. It goes with like I know he's not really a veteran, but Dominic Mysterio coming in and doing the North American title stuff with Dragon Lee and all the young guys there. It's kind of the same
Did I
idea. Same thing when they would have Natalia come in.
did I see Dragon Lee's going to be on Raw next week, or did
Next
I
week,
miss see that?
Next week he is challenging Dominic for the North American Championship on Raw.
On Raw, right? Okay.
But he's not moving up to Raw. He's just there for the title
Well,
match.
I didn't figure he was moving. I didn't figure he was moving up to Raw, but yeah.
No, he's gonna be on Raw next week challenging uh, Dominic.
I will say I'm a little bummed I'm going to miss NXT tonight because they've got me hooked with that the cup, the Heritage Cup that they're doing. Those
Oh man,
matches
that's
have
still
been
so good.
so good.
Yes, I agree. Even working in some of the main roster guys like Pete Dunne's doing it.
Pete
I
needed
I
something.
like Regal.
He needed
Yeah,
something.
I like Regal Jr. I kind of want to see him and Pete have a match
I
because I think they're in separate blocks.
yeah. Well, you know how I Nathan Frazier's my buddy. I met him over at
Yeah,
New Wave Pro. So every time I see him on, I'm just like, I'm so proud of where he got. That's great. And I really want to see him do well. And I
I
really
agree with
want
that.
them to bring back Duke as a nasty guy and not the stupid Chase U stuff.
I'm not a fan of Chase U Duke.
I'm not either. I like the old Duke. Gacy though is doing awesome. See, but then I kind of wonder if I love your wife.
What is she making comments?
Yeah, she is, and I love it.
Oh, okay. So she had to see how comically close I am to that. And what's the verdict? I know
It's
she's
comically close, but
that it is.
yeah, the one block is set up to where they could have a 3-way tie.
Yeah. If Duke wins tonight, then he and Frazier and Coffee, I believe, are tied.
Or yeah, Coffee. I said Gacy. I meant Coffee.
Darn it! I forgot what I was
Honestly, not bad from what I can see.
doing. So you can't see my nose hairs, which is good.
No, your face is pointed down.
That's true.
Check your messages. I have cords.
Yeah, but I'm still tethered to my host here. Once Bari comes in, maybe I can sneak away and.
Yeah,
grab
he
one.
should be on soon. So, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, but all of those matches, and see, I kind of wonder. We were talking about Gunther earlier. Are they gonna have Iliad come after him?
That's what I do.
That's what I would do.
After Gable, I think Ilya should be next because he's got the story. He beat him.
He beat him. Have you those matches from NXT United or UK?
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
As good as the match in UK was, the match they had at the Takeover was so much better.
Was real good too.
Yeah, and that was our on the show. That was our match of the year that year that it happened. So, and that's back when it was Volta.
Yeah, that's back when it was Volta.
So
you're gonna have to give me options on match of the year, and I'll have to.
Oh yeah, I will. I have a list.
Okay, good. Because you'll have to remind me, because I usually forget what happens at the beginning of the year.
So something else we need to discuss. Endeavor. I'm sorry, TKO, which is the collective name for the Endeavor WWE.
Does it bother you that it's too close to Tony Khan, TKO?
I hadn't thought about it. Tony doesn't cross my mind that often. But now that you said it,
it's scary, isn't it?
But this, I saw a picture that kind of we had to file under Vince looks ridiculous.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
Now it's not the one. I think the bandana was photoshopped on, so I'm not talking about that one.
All right. Oh my god.
The mustache is.
Seriously, where's the nearest train track?
Is atrocious the right word for that mustache?
And his hair. Oh.
And not for nothing, Bianca's braid looks like it's part of Hunter's beard in this picture.
It sure does. I don't like this look on Vince. I don't like it.
He looks like a soap opera villain in this picture.
Well, he is a villain. He left us with Nia Jax. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist.
I can't do a full Gopu of my foot beat because of this damn cord. Like, I'm
But
gonna unplug this for a second just to give you guys perspective. This is how long this cord is,
if it's been charging for
and I've
this
got
long, will it not be good for a little bit? Oh, there you went. Well, I guess I'm waiting on Reb to come back. Well, now I hear myself echoing.
All right. Am I back?
You're not on your headset.
My headset went out.
Technical difficulties. Can you hear us now?
It's medium. I'll take it.
Okay.
I can work with this. All right. Look, I can move.
You can move. You can take a big drink
I
of your
can-
foot beat now. Yeah, see? Look at that. So I'm just
Me and my wiener whistle are very happy right now.
The spoon doesn't mean as much on this show though, but that's okay.
No, you don't stir the pot as much on this show.
I tend to sometimes.
Sometimes.
But
yeah.
I don't know. So
All
okay.
Right, all right. So I said we weren't going to get into a lot of AEW. We got to get into a little bit of AEW because Grand Slam is coming up on Wednesday. The last couple of years they've done Grand Slam, they've had a pretty packed house at Arthur Ashe. I don't think it's going to happen on Wednesday.
Have they had a big packed house since Wembley in Chicago?
No.
Yeah, I saw the one from. Were they in Cincinnati last week?
Yeah, Moxley's hometown, and they couldn't fill it.
That didn't look like much. I'm just saying.
No. Yeah, Tony needs to stop trying to book arenas. Start going a little smaller. Because
like State Farm Center, maybe?
Oh, wow! What a novel idea!
What an idea!
And
heck, not charging
$600
for seats, but you know.
Well, there is that. We don't all have billionaire dads, Florida Tony. We can't all afford the good seats. But I don't know. So Samoa Joe went on record today talking about the incident at All In Wembley.
Oh, is this what I shared with us today?
Yeah. So let's get into this. From the sounds of it from Joe, it didn't sound like it was that horrific of an event to have old Tony fearing for his life.
That was what I gathered from it. When I read that, I was like, this the way Joe explained it is more of what I was picturing.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense to me. Plus, it just if what he's said is actually how it went down, and I don't know why I would not believe Joe in this case. That just goes to show Joe's a fucking pro.
Right.
He got everybody shut up. It's like, hey, we're doing this. Let's go. Deal with your shit later. Tony, stop soiling yourself. You're not in danger. Yeah, go ahead and read that for us.
All right, so this comes from steelrealtous.com. And this is from Joe. This is what Joe said. For the most part, I haven't read what's been portrayed. There's been so much said, I'm not the one to go out there and try to debunk everything. I know we had the initial incident, everybody rallied, everybody got together, got their heads together and lined up and got ready to do the show. And we went out there and we did the show. That really was the focus at that point in time. We got a massive show to do. We've got fans out there rabid to see what happened. That happened. So it's important that we step up and do it. It's important that we did, and I was proud to be a part of that. Now, when asked if the situation was as intense as it sounded, Samoa Joe said, that's up to whoever perceived it. I'm used to that environment. Those things don't seem very intense to me, but it could be something crazy intense to someone else. I wasn't really affected by the moment. I was more focused on getting the show back on track and getting us going because it was bell time. You know?
So he's basically saying, Tony, get over it. You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, and that was how that was really how I was picturing it, because I felt like whatever we heard from Jungle Jack was going to be blown
His
up,
narrative.
his narrative.
Mhm.
Tony, his narrative.
Tony, I don't know what
Well,
to think with Tony. Tony's
no,
hallucinating.
Tony's gonna do whatever all his little friends want him to do, and
Well, yeah,
and
this
on
is this smacks of Young Bucks to me.
it
All of
does.
this.
Me too. And it's like, oh, he did something, so we can't let this go on anymore. And it's
Right. There's
like,
more of us than there are of him, so he's got to go.
but
That kind of thing.
yeah, but you guys have only been in the business what, a few years? Maybe you've been in the
Bucks.
indies for longer than that, but
Uh,
no, I'm not
Bucks.
saying the Bucks,
I'll
because
give them
yes,
the
I know
benefit.
they were in
Yeah,
New Japan. I knew they were in New
they're
Japan. I
also
know
in
they're in
TNA.
ROH.
You know,
I get
in
that,
TNA.
but
Hangman about 10 years, I'd say, maybe a little
but you have
less.
Joe. But you have
Yeah,
Joe.
Joe 20 plus years. He's the veteran in this
Exactly.
scenario. Punk's the
Punk.
veteran in this scenario.
Exactly. So I feel like all the veterans are sitting there
Those
going,
two guys have been in wrestling longer than Jack Perry's been alive.
exactly. So, but like I said, when I read that's what Joe said, I was like, yep,
Yes, sir.
that's the way I pictured it. That was exactly the way I pictured it. Was that it
Joe is
all
one of
got
those
blown up
guys that has, yes, Joe's
because
one of those
they're
guys that has
punch
sir
guys.
status with me.
Yeah. Oh, so he's on
He's on Cobra
Cobra.
level.
He's on Cobra level.
Cobra, I would say Jared
Camaro.
Allen,
Camaro.
Camaro, yeah.
But you're friends with
Uh,
Camaro, so
Camaro's our boy. He's awesome.
he's our
Friend
buddy.
of the show. Friend of the network. He's been on both of our
Yeah, he's
shows.
friend of network.
Yeah. He got the free T-shirt at the last 01 show. I got him one of our original Jumping the Rail T-shirts that I've been trying to get to him
Nice.
for over a year now, but I always forgot about it. Oh, but you can get
But
those at ProWrestlingTees.com, by the way.
yeah, please do.
Yeah, yeah. But
But
anyway,
yeah, yeah. When I saw that
uh,
was what Joe said, I was like, yeah, this is what really happened. And I could see now when
yeah.
they said, well, Joe grabbed a hold of Punk and pulled him back. I could see where Joe's like, dude, we've got a show to do. Let's do this.
It's
And
like
Punk was like, okay.
don't let them win.
Yeah,
It's like don't
exactly.
let them
I
get
could
in your
see
head.
that being yeah. But eh,
And also, by the way, I'm not a hater on Cole Cabana. Why the fuck is he teaming up with Cutler in Ring of Honor? Come on, Colt. He's better than that.
here's the
Friggin' Cutlet
I
with his
never
nose
really
guard.
liked Colt to begin with anyway. Like it didn't have
I like
anything to
his
do with the
work.
Punk stuff. See,
I like the
eh.
European style, the kind of the silliness. But
The
he just kind of
silliness
got
drives
drawn
me
into this
nuts
whole.
sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah, but the way when Colt does it, it makes sense.
Okay.
Especially if you go like watch old Colt, like old Ring of Honor Colt, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But
I'll have to go
that's neither
back.
here nor there. I do
Yeah.
think that he's above teaming with Brandon Cutler.
There's a lot of people above teaming with Brandon Cutler.
You know what?
But
Why not just put Cutler with Nakazawa? Just get them both out of the way.
there you go. Well, but here's the thing though. There's the Young Bucks bringing in their little head again, putting in their 2 cents. And weren't they the ones that started all the beef with Colt? And, I mean, I knew there was already beef with Colt and
No,
Punk,
there's already beef with Colt, with Colt
but
and Punk.
to bring it up like that, and now they're pushing Colt more. It's like, come on, guys.
On Ring of Honor though, not on AEW.
Right. Well,
Benefit of the doubt,
still,
but
still. Who do you? Okay.
no, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I mean, who's helping Tony book this stuff?
Jimmy Jacobs.
Okay, who else?
Uh, Probably the Bucks, I would imagine.
Exactly. That's my point.
The thing is, Jimmy Jacobs, I think, is actually making things a little more normal
Well,
because
good.
he comes in, he's got that WWE like formula. Plus, he's such a creative guy. If you ever watched his stuff in Ring of Honor when he was like actively working, the old Age
Yeah.
of the Fall stuff with Lacey, all that stuff, he was so good. And I would like to think that he can maybe break check Tony here and there, and maybe be a voice of reason almost. I haven't seen a
Well,
lot of that yet, but
let's hope, because Tony's had Arn Anderson in the background. He's had Jake the Snake in the background. He's had all these other
Malenko.
guys, Billy Gunn, Malenko, JR. Come on.
I think he got to he got. I think he may have gotten to Billy because Billy's really enjoying the daddy ass scissor me stuff.
Uh-huh.
I wish if Barry was here, I'd ask him what the total's up to now.
We'll find out in the morning. We were over 3,000 already, so I'm waiting.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a wealth of knowledge in that locker room that they could feed off of, but instead they're listening. Number one, they're not listening to the veterans. Number two, they're listening to the Bucks.
Yeah.
And Kenny and Kenny's not even the problem.
No, you know what? I've actually I've kind of come down off my being so mad at Kenny. And I think that's because he's not with the Bucks anymore. I don't mind Kenny by himself. And that's taking a lot for me to say that, because I was not a fan. But like, even looking at some of the stuff he's like with Takeshna. Ha ha.
Yeah,
and
you said it right.
I
Osprey,
did. Osprey. That type
the match
of stuff.
Osprey was really good.
It was. And I think the only time, and I didn't realize a lot of this until I realized that unless he's with the Bucks, he gets booed more. Like when he was doing the trios and everything else, because we were all done with it. We didn't want to see it anymore, but they wanted to finish it out. And it's like, we were all done with it, and don't tell me what the 6th match is going to be when you're not on match 5 and one of the teams is ahead enough to win.
And the wins and losses were so predictable who was going to win what.
It was.
Like, you knew as soon as the Death Triangle went up 3-1, you knew that the Elite was going to win at least the next 2.
Right. You knew it was going to be.
They gotta have game 7.
Yep. You knew you were having 6 and 7.
That's why I would have booked it as a sweep. I would have had somebody get swept, just totally out of the ordinary, not expect the unexpected.
Yeah, but you don't always.
What do I know? I'm not a booker.
Yeah, we're not bookers. We're armchair bookers, as they say.
Well, we are today, and
today we
not
are.
only you and me. And Minders, I think it's about time to get ready because we are now joined by our guest co-host,
Yay!
Our buddy, my co-host on the Gold Rush YouTube series, Jabari Sinclair. Bari, my friend, you're just in time. We've been waiting for you to get into this. We had plenty to talk about, but
one thing we didn't mention though, and you put him
Hi,
up
guys.
And when you had him up there earlier, and I'm surprised you didn't say anything about the big match with Gary J. And the shirt made me think of it again. With
Masato
we'll
Tanaka
talk about
and Gary
it later.
J.
Yeah,
because we still need to figure out if we're going.
Yeah, it's going down next month in a major way.
Let me see what's happening tomorrow.
Yes. Okay. Hopefully, after we're done with the shootout tomorrow, we have a plan.
Hopefully. We can do that.
Bari, we already announced our big, our special guest for the next episode, which I know we filled you in on. There you see, just incredible.
Just incredible.
So I think we need you here for that one to help out because
we do.
We need the ECW knowledge.
Okay.
So if you have your invitation has been sent to you over the World Wide Web to join us on that episode.
You have been
all
invited.
Right. Sounds good.
So are we starting at the bottom of the card and working our way up?
We're working our way up to the main event. I actually got the matches in some sort of an order.
Okay.
So, all right. So here we go. We got our Jumping the Rail Fantasy Supercard ECW versus AEW. I kind of maybe went a little crazy with the graphics on this thing.
I like it. I like it. If you do it with every one of them, I'm good with it. So
exactly.
I think
you started the
that's the plan.
You started the trend. You set the bar.
Yeah. Bari, we showed our extra personnel for the show, and not the wrestlers. Here we go. Here's our referees, our ring announcer, whatnot. You got to have Molyneux and John Finnegan refereeing from ECW, right?
Definitely, definitely.
Got. I made the executive decision to not have Aubrey or Paul or Rick Knox refereeing. I went with Bryce and Paul Turner.
That's greatly appreciated.
See, I wasn't
Not
the
saying
only
that
one
Aubrey
that was
won't come in
excited
at
about
a.
that.
Not saying Aubrey won't come in at a high gallop at some point, but she's
Demand some
her
oats.
services are. Oh boy. Bob Ortiz is our ring announcer, Bari, the great ring announcer from ECW.
Okay.
He can pull off Vince McMahon's mustache. Vince can't.
Yeah, no, not in a million years.
Somebody needs to pull it off of Vince.
Somebody please tell Vince to get rid of the
Yes.
flavor saver.
Oh, flavor saver. I love that term for a mustache. The tickler, if you will. The intern tickler.
Yeah, there you go.
Our backstage interview with Bari is going to be Renee Paquette, because why not?
It works.
Given the ECW didn't really have a backstage guy except for that Stephen Prazak in like the later years.
Hey,
So,
Stacy
makes sense
needed to
to-
have a little bit of say in this. Come on now.
That's true. Yeah, and Stacy loves
She was
Renee.
in the
and
van. She was in the van, so.
She was in the van. Oh, we had a whole booking committee in the van. It was like WCW in the late '80s.
Jeez, right. We were right. We were just mixing real Coca-Cola and booger sugar, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh my.
Show the
All
ring
right,
announcers.
so-
Or not the ring announcers.
God,
Him?
No, not him.
I won't sleep a week for a week now.
There's your Halloween movie. Just Tony.
Yeah. Tony. Yeet, yeet, yeet.
Thanks, guys. All right, so Bari, our ring announcer, or our play-by-play commentary team, Joey Styles and Danhausen. I think this is a winner.
At least it's not Sockface.
These guys being the commentary team alone is going to be boatloads of fun. So much fun. Danhausen's going to be Danhausen, and it's going to eventually piss Joey Styles off about halfway through.
Oh, Joey's going to be exasperated to no end with this. I told Menders I put this picture together with two separate photos of Joey and Danhausen. This looks like if Joey reacted to seeing Danhausen for the first time.
Exactly.
In this picture. Hello! Oh my God! Or whatever,
Oh my God.
All right. So we got to start with the pre-show because there's always a pre-show. So we got a couple of our matches are going to be pre-show matches here. And the first one, ECW and AEW both love their fuckery. The multi-man madness. So our first match is going to be our 8-man tag team. Bullet Club Gold, which is of course Gin and Juice and the Guns, taking on Mikey Whipwreck, Tajiri, Kid Cash, and Super Crazy. And something I didn't realize, because I was watching an old November to Remember Bari, I didn't realize Kid Cash was the guy wrestling Stevie when they debuted the BWO.
Really?
Yeah, he was under a different name, but it was him. It was like young Kid Cash. It was like David Morton Tyler something or other. It was a long, crazy name. But anyway, so getting to this match here, I think we know what to expect from the ECW team. It's going to be mini moonsaults from Super Crazy.
Yes.
Menders, is your mic out?
I don't know. Is it back now?
Okay, now you're good. Did you just have it away from the mouth hole?
I had it up. I had to cough earlier. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So when we booked the finishes on this, we didn't get into the meat and potatoes of the matches. We wanted to kind of freestyle that a little bit as we go. With this match, I like to imagine it being kind of paired off. Because you got tag teams, you got the Guns, and you got Mikey and Tajiri. Maybe pair them off a little bit. The Jay White and Kid Cash, I think, is maybe my favorite matchup out of these 8 guys.
Oh yeah.
I like Jay, so.
So do I. Oh, Jay's one of
Well,
my
that's how
favorites.
that
a lot.
Now, yes, pairing the tag teams off is great too, but also at some point in the match, we're going to have Mikey get separated from everybody, and all four of the Gun Club.
Mikey's
they're going to beat the hell out of him.
Big heat on Mikey for sure.
Yeah.
I think Juice would shine in this match, both with his charisma and what he does in the ring. At some point, Kid Cash has to vault off of the back of the referee. We're going to say John Finnegan's the referee on this match.
Yeah.
So at some point, they're going to all spill out to the floor. Finnegan's going to hit the hands and knees, and Cash is going to do the Hardy Boys vault over the top rope into a moonsault and take everybody out, including security and half of the fans.
It'll be a good time.
It will be a good time. I'm picturing Tajiri just kicking the fuck out of the Gun Boys.
Yeah.
Oh man,
there's so much fun to be had, especially when you think of Tajiri and when even Tajiri and Billy when they had their matches in WWE or F or whatever you want to call it then. So yeah, that would be fun. It'd be lots of fun.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see that I can see the one that looks like Billy is the one that's taking the mist to the face.
There you go.
Oh, Joey O'Gunn?
Yeah, Joey O'Gunn.
Joey O'Gunn.
And you're right, and he'll have his cute little pigtails in too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh,
he's got to have his cute little pigtails.
And Barry, by the way, this show is at the ECW arena. The ECW crowd will eat them alive if he has those damn pigtails.
Alive, and that's the reason why he'll do it, for the heat.
Yep.
Heat, yes. Good heel is never afraid of the heat. So we went through, we figured out the finish on this one. I think we had it where Mikey's going to hit the whippersnapper, countering Juice and Colt Friction, his version of the Unprettier. Mm-hmm. So Juice takes the whippersnapper. Then Mikey turns around into a 310 to Yuma from the Guns, and then Jay hits a Blade Runner. And that's going to be your 1, 2, 3. Does that sound about right?
That was the consensus. Yep.
That sounds about right.
That was the consensus.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, and we're going to try and go kind of fast with these because we have 15 matches. We don't want to take too long. It's already 7 o'clock. So, there you go. Yeah. So, there you go. Your winners in this one's going to be BC Gold. I told you I got carried away.
As it should be. As it should be, in my opinion.
Yes. All right. Pre-show match number 2. And I debated. I'm thinking, should we make this an FCW title match? I mean, it's not recognized by either company. And both guys have held the title.
Sure, why not?
All right. Impromptu. They did all kinds of impromptu shit in ECW. Just
exactly. So I'll allow it.
All right, so here we go. Sabu challenging Hook for the FTW Championship. See Hook rolled out of bed for this one.
Yeah.
The story writes itself on this.
It does.
From Sabu and Taz all those years ago. And it's something I had said when Hook first started in AEW. I would love to see Bill Alfonso come and kind of corrupt Hook and get him away from Taz and make him a heel. But that never happened because, it's Tony. But anyway.
It was a good idea.
Well, thank you. I have those.
I know, on occasion.
And everybody loves Fonzie.
Mm-hmm. Didn't Fonzie call you on your birthday?
No.
Last year?
No, it was Narge. We were out at Bunny's, and we both had a few cocktails, and I was like, let's call Fonzie. So we called Fonzie in Florida. And couldn't have been cooler. He was such a nice guy. But I'm cheap. That was my birthday present to Narge. Let him talk to Fonzie on his birthday. So.
There you go.
Oh.
All right, we're getting off of topic here. Let's get
not us.
Let's get back to it.
Not us.
No.
I forget who we picked for this one.
Oh, we'll get to it. But
okay.
Oh, I remember. This is one I had to flip a coin between the two because I couldn't figure out who to book to win.
Right, that's right. Yeah.
You remember that? Okay.
So, I imagine many suplexes from Hook to Sabu. I think Sabu
Crazy
would
jumps
make
from Sabu.
right. He would make liberal use of the steel chair.
Yes. I bet you he wouldn't use glass.
Yeah, probably not. He was content with the barbed wire and
yeah, I'm about to say barbed wire. Yes. Yeah.
Tables.
That's as far as the line should go with sharp things, but whatever.
Right. I imagine Hook suplexing Sabu through a table at some point.
Oh, I'm sure.
I also see
Sabu went through tables on his own with Sabu went through tables on his own without any help from anybody else, so it's fine.
True. Yeah. I'm trying to think how we had the we had it where I think we had it set up where Hook is going to hook in the well, he calls it Red Room. It's a Taz mission, if you ask me. It's never going to be
a
Taz
is.
mission. I have Sabu escaping in some form or fashion. I'm trying to figure out how to get to the finish on this one because the way I have it, I know what the finish is going to be, but it's how we're getting there. Because in my head, I've got Sabu hitting that atomic Arabian facebuster off the top rope with the chair.
So he sneaks out of it, gets out of the Red Room.
He does that.
He does that roll backwards into a pin while he's in the hold. So Hook has to grab the hold.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
That's how we get there.
Okay. And then as he
rolls most
back
of the time
the
they
chair,
just leave
pick
this
up
up
the chair,
to the wrestlers.
chest pass to the face.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and then he goes up, hits the finish, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, and Sabu's your winner. See,
but again, this was one we had
ones on the AEW video game.
Right? But again, it's like this one was one that was tough to call because we were all kind of like, well, it could go either way. We would let it go either way. But
about to say, despite me seeing Sabu being wheeled out of the hotel that we were at for the expo this last April.
Yeah.
Well, we did
I passed him when he was down before he was on the stretcher that night. That day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because he was in the lobby.
Yeah.
And Van Dam was coming from the big room. This is the whole thing. I just stayed out of the way.
We did preface this with, you have to remember all the ECW guys that we have booked are in their prime.
Yeah, this is ECW era ECW guys, not just the older fellas. Especially not the next match.
I would certainly hope so because some of these guys will have to be picked posthumously, if you will.
That's true.
Yeah. Speaking of so those two matches are our pre-show. So let's get to our opener. And this is one of those, Barry, that you just talked about. Wild-eyed Southern boy Tracy Smothers, rest his soul, taking on the recently de-jobbed CM Punk. I just made a judgment call to put Punk in here because
future endeavor.
I used the Vastilio clause.
It's a work.
Never happened. It's a work.
Never happened. It's a work.
My man right there.
One, yes. And the thing is, I've seen these two have matches on the indies before, whether it was 3-ways, tag matches. And number one, Punk loved Tracy. Tracy's one of the guys that everybody just revered on the indies. And it's one of those things. Punk would do whatever. He would let Tracy call the match, I would assume, in this case.
Oh, I'm sure he would. Like you said, he had a lot of respect for Tracy. Everybody has respect for Tracy.
Front face lock in the gorilla position.
Exactly. I'm still telling you.
What would Tracy Smothers have done to Jack Perry in the locker room?
Same damn thing.
Beat his ass.
Maybe worse.
Exactly.
Everybody dies.
Same damn thing.
Oh. So I picture Tracy using multiple martial arts kicks, not judo kicks like Jim Ross would call them back in the day. I think Punk would bump like crazy for Tracy.
I don't think Punk would have a problem match. No.
Wouldn't be a long match. We don't have to get too deep into details on this. I got Punk going over. I'll give you the option: go to sleep or Pepsi plunge, Bari.
Because it's Tracy and he's got love for him, I'm gonna say the Pepsi plunge.
Thank you.
All right, I love the Pepsi plunge. Punker's knees don't like the Pepsi plunge anymore, even though he did beat Joe with it at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, he did.
But the less he uses that move, the better his knees are. So there we go.
Well, he's been future endeavored, so he won't be using the knees much anymore. So
now,
not for a few months anyway.
Yeah, not if you ask Gary, but.
Hey, Punk said on that MMA show he was doing commentary. He said he's got a couple months of free time. So
exactly.
All right.
So the match that pissed Dwayne off.
Oh, the match that pissed Dwayne off.
As I don't know if you saw the comments when I posted this match I posted the full card a couple days ago on Facebook, and Dwayne popped in right up and said, "I wanted Sandman versus Moxley." First thing he said, and I was like, "No, we're not doing Sandman versus Moxley."
We took care of that one in the car. We were like, "No,"
because we can do better, and I think we did because we've got Masato Tanaka and Jon Moxley, and it's like I told Minders, if Mox wants to no-sell weapons, then Tanaka can oblige him.
Yep, he sure in the hell can.
And we'll see how much he can no-sell weapons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I get concussions just watching Tanaka wrestle.
The real question is, and it's a two-parter. The first part, how long will it take Moxley to bleed? And the second part is, how much will he bleed?
I'll answer part two first. He's going to be buckets, I think.
Oh God, he's going to be a gusher.
That's how. Notice Punk went first. That's why Punk went first. He didn't want to wrestle in the blood.
Do you blame him?
No.
Can I answer the first
Tanaka, one? Go ahead.
38 seconds.
Oh, really? It kind of depends on how long it takes Tanaka to get a chair.
That's
exactly
true.
Because I can see these guys starting the match and going outside the ring and throwing fucking chairs in the ring, and then going in there and getting it on.
Maybe a table.
Yeah, maybe a table.
Yeah. It's going to be one of those. Most of what I've seen of Tanaka has been him with Mike Awesome, outside of maybe a couple matches with the Dudleys or whoever. So I think of all the highlights of a good Masato match, whereas most of which involves chairs. You got, I imagine Moxley going to hit him in the head with an unprotected chair shot. Tanaka no sells it. Rolling elbow into the chair, into the face. Maybe that's what busts Moxley open. He loved that wind sprint chair shot on the ramp usually.
Yeah.
But you sit Moxley in a chair on the floor, run to the end of the entryway, and just do a full sprint with a chair, or just whack him in the friggin' head with it.
Can we say one thing? No skewers in this match.
I was gonna say I would like to say no skewers. Let's make no skewers. Even Paul E didn't have skewers in ECW.
Yes, no skewers.
You never saw that shit in ECW?
No, you didn't.
You saw plenty of craziness anytime. Just watch a New Jack match. But
any of them.
Right.
So, you might have seen toasters and cheese graters, but you didn't see wooden skewers.
I went back. I watched 95 November. Remember when Dreamer used the VCR?
There you go. Even a VCR. But no wood skewers.
No wood skewers. No plastic skewers. No metal skewers. No skewers.
No light tubes. No weed eaters.
No. Yeah, weed eaters didn't happen until XPW, I don't think. But the way I see it, I think both of these guys have concussions at the end of this match. Safe to assume?
Yeah.
Safe. Very safe. If one of them is not completely broken.
They had concussions at the end of the match, taking years off their life.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Mark, you know that
I,
bump card T-shirt we have?
uh-huh.
It's gonna be full on all of them, on both.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be full and void.
Yeah.
Oh, AJ chiming in, no syringes either. I say absolutely. I hate the syringes. That might be the only thing I hate more than the skewers is the syringes.
Ugh.
Thanks, Thumbtack Jack. But anyway. So I imagine Mox takes the tornado DDT on the chair. He takes that the diamond dust, that flipping stunner that Tanaka does. It's so cool. But in the end, he's gonna hit the Death Rider, and I think he's gonna get the win on Masato.
So put up your winning logo.
All right, I was making sure I got confirmation that was okay with you guys.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right, there you go. Moxley wins. I should have gotten a picture of him bleeding for this part.
You should have.
I should have, but
okay.
I dropped the
It's
ball.
all right. It's all right.
All right, because they kind of forgot which order the match was in. Our next one, and Bari, this I told Menders, this is the one I think I've been looking forward to postulating on the most out of all these. FTR and the Eliminators. FTR forgot that they wanted to go on before Moxley, so they have to roll around in the blood a little bit.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Maybe. Why can't we just well, it is ECW, so never mind. I mean, they changed the map for the last time, but that was AEW, so.
We got Tony Khan money. We're changing the damn map.
Yeah, we're changing the damn map.
Yeah, I imagine Paul Lee built Tony out of a good amount of his money for this show.
Yeah.
Like he was a dairy cow.
I was like, we discussed, everybody that I talked to thought it was going to be the Dudleys and FTR. I think the Eliminators makes for a better matchup.
I agree.
From a technical standpoint.
Yes.
Because you got your classic wrestlers in FTR, then you got the Eliminators who throw in the martial arts element to it. I don't think FTR would quite know what to think of Cronus doing all the flippy shit, being 265 pounds.
Yeah. No flips, just fists.
I do think Cronus will hit a 450 on one of them, probably cash.
I was say it has to be cash.
Saturn will hit that big elbow drop on Dax though. Let's see. Finish wise, I think Cronus takes the spike pile driver from FTR to put him out, and then they hit Saturn with the Shatter Machine.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. I think that gets the win, but I think this match goes a good 15 minutes at least.
Yeah,
at least
almost 20 probably.
Probably, yeah. But there you go. FTR is going to win. I'm bummed I couldn't find a decent picture of Dax with the mustache. It almost looks like the Revival more than FTR.
You know what though? I'm okay with it. Those guys, they've always been both to me. So.
Yeah. So good. All right.
But see,
yep.
Jay watching down over him. So.
Oh yeah. Man, just imagine if we could have done Dudleys and Briscoes if things went differently this year.
Yeah, and that right there alone would have sold tickets to put asses in seats.
Sure would have.
Mm-hmm. As long as Time Warner would stop sucking and let Jay be on TV.
Time Warner sucks eggs.
They do. I have a shirt that says that. If I ever get to another AEW taping, I'm wearing that shirt.
I hope so.
I mean, if it's not a Punk shirt, they can't make me take it off, right?
Hey, I have an FTR shirt that's a Punk shirt, so I bet you I could get in.
Oh, yeah, you might. All right, well, let's move on to our next one. And this one, I think, would be a fun one. It's not really a clash of styles, but it's like both sides of the extreme on the same style here. And it's Too Cool Scorpio taking on Swerve Strickland.
We all popped in the van when we came up with this one.
Because I forget who. I think AJ pitched somebody else for Swerve, and then we thought of Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine Swerve's music is playing and Scorpio's dancing in the ring to it.
Right.
Because, Scorpio's a cut a rug.
Yeah.
Funny
was
story,
it Daniel Garcia? That
yes.
we won with? Yeah.
It was going to be
No,
Garcia
that was with
and
Blue
Scorpio.
Meanie.
No. That was Blue Meanie was with Best Friends.
Oh, yeah. So that's what it was. It was Daniel Garcia because we won the dance off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I suggested you poo-pooed it pretty quickly.
I did poo-poo it quickly. I'm sorry. I hate watching Daniel Garcia dance.
I hate it. First time I seen him do it, I said, "What is he doing? What are you doing? Channeling your inner Shakira?"
Yeah, no kidding.
And then don't get me started on the thing with Billy Gunn that went viral.
Can't
unsee that.
No, you can't.
No. Hey, Bari's here now. Bari, what's the total?
Oh yeah, we were talking about Billy Gunn.
I've got to look it up. Give me just a second here.
But
you need the little green visor like the accountants have when you're doing this.
38-13-44.
38-14-34?
Yes.
All right. Somebody get that amount to Billy Gunn. See if we can.
One of these days, I'm gonna have to cash in.
The weather changed, so there was a 6% increase.
Ah.
And he's a champion now, so we had to increase it because he's a champ now.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I survived a hurricane, so we increased it because of that.
Did you by chance say stand back? There's a hurricane coming through to anybody when you were down there?
No, because the only people we saw was each other.
That's it.
See, you would have popped. I bet Barry would have popped if you would have said that to him during a hurricane.
No, he wouldn't have. We were a little. We were a little on edge during that time.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's just a little old hurricane. I'm kidding.
Just a little hurricane.
And I was 3 sheets in the wind.
We both were.
Did you tie yourselves to a tree so you wouldn't blow away?
No, you couldn't get us to step outside. You could not get us to step out. It was hard enough to go out to the garage to get water.
Yeah.
But all right, let's get the match. We jumped off the rail again.
We sure did. So I imagine, well, both of these guys are cocky, but I imagine Swerve getting like extra, like arrogant and getting in Scorp's face. Scorp kick him in the head.
A few times.
Yeah, because Scorp don't play that shit. He's a badass in real life.
Oh yeah, such a cool guy too.
Yeah.
But like I said, I imagine Scorp going for a lot of the high risk stuff, the moonsaults, maybe I would say maybe have him going for a 450 but missing.
Probably.
Then Swerve hit the stomp.
Yep.
Now, should we have Prince Nana at ringside for this?
No.
You don't like Prince Nana, do you?
I don't.
I love Prince Nana. I think he's awesome.
It gets too goofy when he's out there for me. But
he's a little goofy. But
that's my opinion.
He's a little goofy, but he's the loud mouth that wrestling needs.
Yeah.
But we could potentially get a Nana versus Scorpio dance off.
Yeah, we could.
But we saw Nana cutting the rug in the ring on Wednesday before the Bucks kicked him in the face.
But it was the Bucks. Yeah. Okay.
All right, but yeah, I got Swerve winning this one with the stomp off the top rope.
I agree.
Clean win,
Swerve is just good though.
Swerve is so good. I told you if there was no MJF, Swerve would be that top heel in the company. He would be. I would have him as a world champion if there was no MJF right now.
Yeah,
I could see that.
He's definitely got that potential.
Yeah. But there you go. Swerve wins. He looks thrilled. Let's see. So, Menders, we've got about 6 matches in, and we have not had a house fight yet.
Well, let's fix that.
Let's do that. All right, here we go. The Man Beast and the Redeemer, 1-on-1, Rhino and Miro. This is another one of those pick'ems where we would have been happy with either one of these guys winning.
Yep.
These guys are going to beat the crap out of each other. Miro's going to be striking, Rhino's going to be throwing.
Jesus, put the women and children to bed.
Yeah. And remember, this is 1999 Rhino. This isn't Impact Rhino.
This is badass Rhino.
This is Man Beast Rhino.
Yes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is not Bulgarian Brute Miro. This is the
Miro.
Redeemer Miro.
Right? If it was the Bulgarian, I think I would have been happier if it was a Bulgarian Brute because, jeez, he was so good then.
Oh, yeah. The way I see this match ending, Rhino goes for a gore through the table in the corner. You know, that was kind of his jam.
That was his thing.
Miro moves, so Rhino takes the table into the corner. Miro hits that. Does he still call it the Machka kick?
That's what we're going to call it because that's all we've ever.
Right.
Yeah.
So Machka kick accolade, but I'm going to have Rhino passing out. I don't think ECW Rhino would have tapped out.
Nope. I don't think so either.
No. So I got Miro winning this one. He will have earned it
by referee
stoppage. We'll say this was Remsburg referee in this match.
Okay.
All right. So Miro takes this one. I made a judgment on our next match. I wanted to add a little sizzle to it, and you guys okayed it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have number one, dream match for me. I wish this would have been able to happen. Eddie Guerrero and Jay Lethal. I made the suggestion today that we make this one 2 out of 3 falls.
And we all jumped on the bandwagon.
Yes, we did.
All right. So, and we had to think about how we were going to do this. We agreed no Jeff Jarrett, no Sanjay Dutt, no Satnam Singh at ringside.
Which is fine.
Because this has to be one-on-one straight up between these two guys.
And then Lethal will get lost. If they're out there, the Lethal would get lost in the hoopla.
Right. It'd just be
exactly.
Circus.
Yeah.
Here you got just a pure technical potential masterpiece between these two guys. Now it is Eddie Guerrero, so I think we agreed the first fall it was going to be the Eddie chair magic with the referee.
Yes.
Throw Lethal the chairs and take a bump. Referee turned around, sees Lethal holding the smoking gun, call for a DQ. So Eddie gets the first fall there. I had an idea.
Pure Eddie style. So.
Oh, absolutely. However, I think there's going to be a 30-second rest period between falls. So I think in the rest period, as Eddie's getting up, then Jay just waffles him with the chair. Just knocks him on his ass. Can't be DQ'd. It's a rest period.
Right.
Gets rid of the chair. Ring the bell for fall 2. Lethal hits lethal injection. 1, 2, 3. Just like that,
Right off the bat. Okay.
Yeah. Now, it had been suggested to us that Eddie should employ the lasso from El Paso in this match. The old leg lock. He didn't use that in ECW, so I figured we would try to stay true to ECW Eddie here. Except for he didn't really do the cheating, but it's Eddie. You got to do the cheating a little bit.
Eddie. You got to do. You got to do the cheating.
So, I'm thinking Lethal's going to go for a figure 4. He's a player guy. So, figure 4 into a small package, 2 count. Then Lethal's going to go for the lethal injection again. He's going to miss it. Then I say Eddie hit brainbuster, frog splash, 1, 2, 3. And that's the third fall.
Yep.
And I got this match going about 30.
It should. It should go 30.
All right.
If not a little longer, but.
Well, we've got a lot of matches.
Yeah, I know.
Because the next match is going to go a little long too. But here we got Eddie. Eddie's our winner. I love Jay Lethal, but I think it's got to be Eddie here.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So that match went 30. This one, I think, is probably going to go just as long, if not longer. Jerry Lynn and Bryan Daniels.
Pack you a lunch. It's going to be a lunch.
Yes. Hold for hold, I think this is going to be just a masterpiece.
Yeah.
You got both these guys are just loaded with grit. They dish it out. They can take it. They go hold for hold, wrestling, counter wrestling, just everything that a wrestling purist wants in a match.
Yeah. And not so much of all the hardcore. I know ECW is built on hardcore, but not
always.
So much of the hardcore.
But the fans enjoyed the pure technical wrestling just as much. I mean, you watch the stuff with Benoit and Malenko and Guerrero, and later on, Anarchy Rules, Jerry Lynn, and Lance Storm was just a pure wrestling clinic. The stuff with Van Dam, except for the chairs, it wasn't a lot of hardcore stuff in those matches with Jerry Lynn.
No, it wasn't. It was a lot of technical savvy
counter wrestling.
Yeah.
Every match, like in the sequence, they would have more counters to each other's moves, which I thought was awesome.
So many counters. So many counters out of the right. So many counters from the Tornado DDT.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so for the finish on this one, I've got Jerry going for the cradle pile driver, Danielson countering into, we'll say, a regal plex. You know, the back suplex with hooking the leg on.
Mm-hmm.
That way Regal used to do. And then I made the humble request that we have Brian win with counter mutilation instead of the label lock.
Right.
Just because it's one of my favorite submission holds. Also called Arms Across America back when he was in the Indies. I like cattle mutilation better. Not the actual practice of mutilating cattle, but just for the name of a hold. I was down with it. So, and I think Jerry would tap out to this if he had no place else, no way of escape. So there you go. Right. Dragon's gonna win this one. I think it'd go about probably 30 or 35 minutes on that one.
That works.
Yeah.
But now we
Paul
need
Turner
a short
referee in that one.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got one that's not going to go long.
We got a short match coming up. So we just had everybody go an hour with 2 matches. So let's get a short one in here now.
Well, I think we got a few that aren't going to go horribly long. So, okay. All right. First off.
Dun dun dun.
Yeetapalooza. Mike Awesome and Darby Allin. I think we agreed that Darby has to go through no less than 4 tables during this match.
Right.
From any variety of awesome bombs, and maybe even a frog splash off the top through a table. I'll even go that far.
So we need 5 tables at least for this one.
At least, yeah. Well, ECW has no shortage of tables under the ring.
I was going to say, we're going to have a hell of a Home Depot bill.
Well, Tony's got money. He can afford all the tables.
Yeah, there you go. Tony's got money.
And he's such an ECW mark, he would probably do it anyway.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I have this awesome, just mercilessly throwing Darby all over the arena in this match. Just massive yeeting on a global scale. Darby is going to get his I call them Spike Dudley spots, where he's going to have some hope spots in there. Eventually, he's going to probably hit a coffin drop onto either a table or a guardrail or some fucking.
Yeah, let's screw that back up even more than it's already screwed up. Let's do that.
Right. Yeah. Well, you need to have a bad back to climb Everest.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, we agreed we're gonna have Awesome just beat the pants off of Darby, throw him around all over the place, but Darby's gonna get the win here. Coffin drop through. I'm gonna say through a table. I'm trying to decide if we need to go crazy, like through a table onto another table, or something like that.
What the hell? Let's do it.
Why not?
We just had a technical match go on, so why not? Yeah. Let's throw everything at this one.
Yeah. All right. So we'll do that. I got Darby winning in about 9 minutes.
That works.
In this one. Mm-hmm. There you see him. He looks thrilled. And now he can climb to the top of Mount Everest with pride.
Yeah, go climb the top of Mount Everest.
Okay, so this one we had some fun with, guys. So we had to have one women's match on here because ECW didn't have a whole lot of women that wrestled. There was mostly valets, what have you.
No, but there was one.
There was one. So we made a match with her, and we put her in the ring with who I think is the best female talent AEW has right now. So Here we go. Jazz versus Chris Statlander. And we made a wrinkle in this one because this match, before it starts, we're going to hear, I don't know what the music was, but we're bringing Nicole Bass out to attack both of these women. And that's going to lead. What?
Nice.
Okay. And that's going to lead to an impromptu three-way dance between these three ladies. I don't know. It wouldn't be horribly one-sided because both of these girls can probably hang with Nicole Bass.
Yeah.
I've got Bass using a bunch of power moves and all this. And this is going to... Now, we didn't decide. ECW did mostly elimination style, but AEW doesn't. So I'm going to let you guys make the call. Is it going to be elimination match or is it going to be one fall?
Barry, I'll let you decide.
I say elimination.
Okay. That makes it easy here for the first part because I've got it where Nicole's going to basically dominate both of these girls, but in the end, they're going to double team Nicole. Jazz we'll say Jazz hits the Jazz Stinger, that X Factor she did, and then Chris is going to tombstone Nicole, and then they're both going to do the double pin and eliminate Nicole Bass first.
I like it.
Nice.
Okay.
ECW booking right there.
That's right. So now you got both of these girls going one-on-one, and I think we agreed Chris has to win this one. And how I'm going to say we do it, because she already used her finish on Nicole, I say Jazz puts her up in that double chicken wing that she used to do to Trish that make the girls pop out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then have Chris countered into a roll-up, 1, 2, 3, and have her get the win that way.
That works.
I like it.
I like AJ's
That's a good question. Can they both hang with Jazz?
That's true.
In ECW, maybe.
Yeah.
WWE Jazz, maybe not.
No.
But yeah, so there we go. Chris Statlander is our winner. And now we move on to maybe the match that steals the show here. And again, this won't probably be a horribly long one.
I'm so excited about this one.
RVD and the Bastard Pack here. And we agreed that Bill Alfonso will be at ringside with Van Dam in this match.
Yes.
Blowing that damn whistle.
Yeah, Daddy.
Reb, don't you have a whistle? I know Dwayne does.
It's in my my Toto memorabilia in the other room.
Ah.
I have an autographed whistle from Fonzie, and it's one of my favorite things that I don't want to have besmirched by dust or cats. So it's securely sealed in a tote. So it's gonna be an athletic fuckfest here. A lot of flipping, a lot of kip ups. Pac will not suffer Van Dam's foolishness with all the grandstand and the hot dogging.
No.
To paraphrase the great Randy Savage, it's gonna be a lot of near falls off of various things. Of course, Van Dam got to have the split-legged moonsault. Got to have the Van Dam or the Rolling Thunder is what I meant. The Rolling Senton.
Yeah.
We had to kind of gin up a finish on this one, and here's how we had it. Van Dam goes for the 5-star frog splash and misses. Pac jumps on him, applies the brutalizer, that Rings of Saturn submission that he does.
I love that submission. It's
so good. So good. Fonzie breaks it up with a chair. Pac menacingly moves up on Fonzie like he's going to destroy him, because he probably could.
Mm-hmm. But
then Fonzie throws the chair at Pac. Pac catches it. Bam! Van Daminator. So down goes Pac. Put him in the corner. And Van Dam goes to one corner. Fonzie holds the chair. Van Terminator. And then that's your 1, 2, 3. So Van Dam is going to get the pin on Pac on this one in what we'll call Van Dam style, with the Fonzie interjection there.
There you go.
But Van Dam's one of those guys in the arena. He's got to win.
Yeah.
Obviously not true of all the ECW guys. But so while the fans are recovering from that match, we're going to get a promo. And you're going to ask, what great extreme star are we going to get coming out to speak to the ECW faithful?
There's only one.
There really is.
There really is only one.
And everybody's going to agree. QT Marshall.
Wait, what? Oh, great.
With QTV in tow, Solo, Camarado, Australian blonde girl,
A
whatnot.
go-go. Yeah, whatever.
No go-go.
No go-go.
No go-go. But so QT gets the microphone, starts running down ECW because he's the heel. Not being horribly entertaining, I will say.
No.
And so he makes some comment about how he's the man and all this stuff because he's got his Latin American Heavyweight Championship, whatever it is he won at AAA. But he says something out of turn, and then here comes Sid Vicious down the aisle.
He says that he rules the world, and that cues in Sid.
There you go. Because it's like saying Beetlejuice 3 times. You say you're going to rule the world, that's going to bring Sid out. Oh, AJ, why didn't you bring this up in the van? Can Joel Gertner try to join this special episode? Although, technically, Joel's going to be with the Dudleys later, so he'll be there. But anyway, so Sid comes down, chokeslam Camarado, powerbomb Solo through a table, then blonde girl runs away because she actually has some sense in her head to not deal with Sid.
See, I would have ran. I would have just ran to begin with.
Yeah. Now I'm going to throw in a monkey wrench here. So Sid's going to powerbomb the hell out of QT. Then we get Hobbs. So now we get a face-off, Hobbs and Sid.
Okay.
And I didn't run this by you guys, and I don't have a graphic because it really just popped in my head now. Impromptu match, Sid versus Hobbs. Just bonus Haas fight.
Okay.
Jim Molyneux runs down to the ring, rings the bell. Hobbs power or spine busts Sid like he does. Doesn't get the pin. He's tries to. Are you all right?
I'm laughing at AJ's comment.
Oh, he had a comment. Well, Sid is twice the man QT is and has half the brain you do. That's very true. So anyway, Sid kicks out of the spine buster. Chokeslams Hobbs. Hobbs kicks out. Long story short, Sid powerbombs Hobbs 1, 2, 3. So Sid gets a special bonus win because Sid doesn't do the job in ECW.
Nope.
And he did it without Judge Jeff Jones, for that matter. So
there we go.
There we go. All right. So just a little bonus. I hope you guys don't mind. I kind of.
Nah. You're good.
Yep.
ECW loved having their little surprises and
exactly.
And I wanted to have Hobbs in there somehow.
Yeah. Well, we had a match for Hobbs, but it was one that ended up on the cutting room floor.
I think it was Rhino, and we decided Miro was better. I think it was going to be Rhino and Hobbs, but we went with Miro. All right, let's get QT off our screen.
Please.
All right.
He's on my screen enough on AEW. I don't need any more
That's
of him.
very, very true. All right, next up we got, there we go, the Dudley Boys against the Lucha Brothers. And this I thought was a fun contrast,
It is.
Bubba was always really good at bumping for the smaller guys, so I imagined he would take some Ranas and shit from Phoenix.
Okay, I'll say it now. I didn't say it in the van, but I'll say it now. It almost reminds me of a semi Dudleys versus Hardys.
Sort of.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay, so AJ helped us book this match, and he threw out a spot where, Pentagon likes to do the arm break spot, where he takes some, gets down on the ground, pulls back. So AJ suggested he does that to Devon early in the match, which would then spin the thing. Can Devon pick anybody up for a 3D with one arm?
Right.
So that's your, and now keep in mind the Dudleys are still heels at this point because the Dudleys could get heat with one leg in ECW, especially if their mouths are still moving.
Exactly.
So the finish I had in mind here is so Devon's almost useless. He's not doing much. It's mainly Bubba, and then it eventually winds up being where Big Dick Dudley's going to interfere, because he's always there. He choke slams Phoenix out of the ring through a table. I'm sorry, I listened to Corny this morning. But so Big Dick sends Phoenix out to a table. Then goes for total penetration on Pentagon. Pentagon counters it into a DDT onto, like, say, a chair. But then as Penta's getting up, then we get the 3D. 1, 2, 3, Dudleys win. Post-match, because it's the Dudleys and it's ECW, they continue to beat the piss out of both of them until Natural Born Killers comes over the PA system. Here comes New Jack. Weapons, shopping cart, swagger, all that good stuff. And he basically just runs through the Dudleys' guitar shot with the... I never did figure out, was that like flour that he poured into the guitars when he...
It was either flour or baby powder.
Okay, maybe it was baby powder. He'd have like maybe a stop sign, a computer, of who knows, of maybe a hoverboard, if this is like today's vernacular. Hitting people with all of it.
No
Ginsu knives. We don't want cutlery with New Jack.
No cutlery with New Jack.
He will have the staple gun though.
We don't trust New Jack with knives. Just saying.
Yeah. But anyway, so New Jack clears the ring. Dudley's bail. He gets the big spot, but the Dudleys still win. So there you go. They are the wieners. AJ says, "Damn, I love New Jack." Me too, but I don't need to see him wrestle. I was happy just seeing him doing the run-ins.
Yeah. There's so much that can happen when he wrestles that it makes me nervous.
Yeah. Especially if he has a grudge with whoever he's in the ring with.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that TNA got him to do business for a while is beyond me.
That's that's impressive.
Pretty paycheck. Yeah. Pretty paycheck.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't need to worry about those justifiable homicides when you're working for TNA.
Right.
Oh, AJ. You're going to try telling New Jack he can't have a knife. He's bringing one down the ring with him regardless, and you can't tell him not to. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. We'll just ask nicely.
Like, hey, Jack, please don't use a knife.
Please don't.
He's another one that's in the sir category, if you will.
Yes. Oh, I'd sir New Jack, because I don't want to take a shank in my back. Not Shank Barzini, I'm talking.
Yeah, right?
All right, Menders, we're going to do the one you've been waiting for.
Okay. Sorry, I'm watching NXT as we're doing this.
Oh,
I'm watching NXT as we're doing this.
We're actually almost to the end of the card. We got 3 matches left, so we're doing pretty good.
We're doing good.
All right, the crossover tag team match. Dreamer and Eddie Kingston against Raven and Chris Jericho. Now, Menders, when we were talking about this at the top of the show, we were wondering how Raven and Jericho were going to coexist.
Yes. Barry, we want your input.
You want my input?
Yeah, yeah. Tell me what you think first, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
Jericho is going to be on Jericho's shit like Jericho does, and eventually Raven's going to get sick of that, and he's going to hit it with an even flow and walk the hell out.
No, see, now I had a different finish, but I do think he's not going to put up with Jericho's shit.
We're all in agreement there. We all said that. We all said Raven's not putting up with his shit.
I imagine at the bell, Jericho tries to big league Raven, and Raven just ignores him and just does what he wants anyway.
Right.
There will be no tags in this match. It's going to be a 4-way free-for-all. Raven and Tommy going to pair off, Kingston and Jericho. All the greatest hits, all the weapons, all the gaga, all that stuff you expect. I just watched the Dreamer Funk Cactus Raven match about an hour ago, so I've got this fresh in my head. So any number of creative weaponry you can imagine. The finish I've got Kingston getting taken out, maybe through a table.
With a sign that says, "Please use my sign"?
No, that got used on Jericho earlier by Dreamer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The "Do not enter Dreamland" sign.
Yeah, do not enter
sign. But anyway, it winds up coming down to Dreamer trying to fight off both guys, and gets Jericho out of the ring, so it's him and Raven. Dreamer goes to hit the ropes. Jericho waffles him in the back with Floyd, the baseball bat.
Mm-hmm.
And then he stumbles into an even flow 1, 2, 3. Raven pins Tommy again because he has to in the arena.
Yes. So then when Jericho comes in to celebrate with Raven,
Go on.
then Raven hits the even flow on Jericho.
There you go. Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Jericho gets too chummy with Raven. Raven just drops him on his head. And the crowd goes nuts.
Exactly. You know what?
Crowd goes banana.
It was so funny.
Beulah will be there, but I don't think she would be, and she would factor in. She might DDT Jericho at some point in the match.
Mark, did you know that Bari has made Raven pop?
I did. I've heard this story, but I'd love to hear it again.
Go ahead, Bari.
You tell it, Minder. You've seen it.
I did see it. We're at Dreamwave. We went to Dreamwave to see Raven. He was up there. Tommy Dreamer actually made an appearance there, too. That was like the big shock of the night. We were all, holy crap, Tommy's here, too.
Didn't Raven drop him on his head?
I think so. Raven did not that night.
They beat up whatever mid card heel they have there.
AJ, who is that guy? You know, what?
Their version of QT Marshall.
Yeah, but it's AJ knows the guy's name.
Don't know that guy.
Mr. Buns of Steel.
Continue this.
Anyway, yeah, Buns of Steel. That's
Mr. Buns of Steel. Yeah,
Mr. Buns of Steel. But anyway,
I wasn't
there. Yeah. Billy wasn't there, but whatever.
Then you got your money.
We went to go get our picture taken with Raven. Jay Fowler. There you go. It was Jay Fowler. But we get our picture taken, and Bari makes a comment of greatest ECW champion ever. Well, right next to Raven is Shane Douglas.
Oh no.
Raven starts laughing, moves over, says, Shane, do you hear that? And then Bari got heat with Douglas the rest of the night. It was great.
Oh, Bari.
I made up, and I was like, oh, but you're the franchise, though. So they got me a few points back.
It was almost as good as the Basham. It was almost as good as the Basham happening, but
The 40-year-old truck driver?
Yeah.
Now, not for nothing, I do think Shane Douglas is the greatest ECW champion of all time, but that's just me.
Yeah, but Bari
Hence
said
why he's
Raven
in the main event.
So.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know.
But yeah, anyway. That was a fun time.
All right, next match here. The semi-main, I think a dream match for anybody.
Here's your other Haas fight.
Yes, Haas fight part 2, Taz versus Samoa Joe. I imagine these guys won't be snapping each other in the ass with their towels, that's for sure.
No, that won't be happening.
I imagine an epic stare down at the beginning.
Of course.
Oh, Bari, here you go. I said they don't kiss my ass. I meant Bari too. Shane Douglas, probably. He says.
Yeah, he said it. God damn it, kid.
All right, so I picture the match starts with the stare down in the middle of the ring. A lot of trash talk because both those guys like to talk trash.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing hands early. Taz knocks Joe on his ass with the clothesline. Joe gets up, hits him with a mafia kick him right in the face, knock him down. Standoff. Then we get into kind of the hold for hold stuff. The suplexes, the chin locks, the holds, the submission holds, all that stuff.
Joe has to do his walking away, so we need Taz to jump off the top rope for something.
Taz never climbed the ropes.
I know, but we need that move at some point. It's my favorite Joe move.
If he was wrestling Van Dam, maybe.
All right, I'll let it slide. We don't have to have
this. Is serious business, Menders. This is a Haas fight.
Serious business, exactly.
No aerial offense in Haas fights.
AJ has a good point.
Oh yeah, here we go. The pop when Taz suplexes Joe for the first time in the match. Yeah, because he's probably going to land very high on his shoulders.
Very high.
In an unsafe manner, some would say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then Joe would just get up and do it to Taz.
I was going to say, if I Not that I'm a wrestler by any means, but if I had to take a suplex from anybody, these would be the two guys I would trust. Just saying.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know if I trust Taz. I don't know if I trust Taz.
I'm Taz's height. It'd be all right.
I think if I was going to pick anybody to give me a suplex, I think it would have to be in his prime Kurt Angle.
Well, yeah. That makes sense.
Taz was a little too head droppy. And they look cool.
But okay, right. Taz will grab you by your damn ankles and just throw you and didn't care where you landed at.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I see this being just a total back and forth. Joe would go for the muscle buster. Taz would wriggle out, go for the choke. Joe roll through, go for a clothesline. Taz duck it, put Taz mission on. And I think this is also a pass out, not a tap out. I don't think Joe would tap out to Taz.
Yeah, no.
But he may. You never know. What do you think? I'll put it to you guys. Tap out or pass out?
Pass out.
Okay, Barry?
Have we already seen a pass out?
We've already seen, we have seen a pass out.
Rhino passed out.
Rhino passed out.
Yeah, so Joe, I'm going to need you to do the job for Taz. Sorry.
All right.
Not sorry.
And I'll bet Joe would, because I think Joe respects Taz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll have Joe tap out to the Taz mission. Taz is your winner. They would do the handshake after the match. You know, they do the respect. I'm thinking Joe versus Kabashi style.
There you go.
And so then Taz gets the win. He has to get a win back for the family because Hook lost.
Right.
All right. Now to paraphrase Mark Henry, it's time for the main event. But I'm not a floating head in the middle of the screen. So
you're a floating upper torso. It's all good.
Yes. All right. So here we go. Main event, non-title match. The franchise, Shane Douglas and MJF. We were talking about this. The promos and the build-up to this match would be phenomenal.
Yes. As long as MJF doesn't go, well, back when I was a little kid, I'm tired of those promos.
Right. And then Shane would have to watch his language.
Yeah.
Nah.
Put the 7-second delay on there.
Wait, isn't this a pay-per-view?
I guess it is. So
if it's on pay-per-view, it doesn't matter. Fuck it.
That. All right.
Very true.
Yes.
I say I say give him 7 minutes before the match starts to cut a damn promo. Really get him into.
Well, Shane would cut the promo in the ring before the match.
Yeah.
Cut my fucking music, he'd say. Of course, Francine's there with him. She's so cool. She was awesome. Did you get to meet her at the expo last April?
We didn't get to meet her, but we saw her at the.
She was very nice.
Well, Barry might have. I didn't get to meet her, but I.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet her.
I went to that the
panel.
Panel, yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah, after the panel was over, she and Shane were at the same table in the main room.
Ah.
So we got
at the ECW table.
For a bit.
Are you bringing your flag this year?
I am going to, because hopefully I'll have the money to afford all the autographs that I need.
There you go. How many did you get last year? Any?
None. I just decided to hold off because I had to make sure I had money for the photos and things that I wanted to do with all the guys.
Then we need to make a special request to Heather.
We may have to have Heather back on before the expo again.
We need to have Heather back on before the expo. She was so much fun.
So just getting off on a slight tangent here. I don't know if you heard this, but Bubba and Devon are taking select bookings for signings and wrestling as a team going forward.
Oh.
I saw the tweet that Billy put out saying that to that effect, and I may have retweeted it to the expo people.
Nice.
Maybe we can get them at the expo next year, hopefully.
You mean no Mick Cardona?
Well, he'd be there too. He's got to be. He's the champ.
Oh yeah, he's got to be the champ. I forgot.
He's got the damn belt.
Along with like 4 more from what I've seen in House of Glory.
He'll be there with his little stupid hat on, this stupid vest.
Hey, he was a nice guy. I've met him twice, and he's always been cool to me.
Yeah, well, I like.
As a heel, he's an effectively unlikable heel. Don't get me wrong.
He is.
I like Grapefruit too, but nobody cares.
All right, should we get back on topic here?
Oh, sure. Why not?
All right, so I imagine. Oh, look at that. Hey, is that AJ's wrestling buddy?
Yeah, he still hasn't got it yet.
Oh, there's a comment. I shudder to think what this is going to say. Oh,
Yeah.
I knew that was going to be
where's
what he
Kane
would
with
say.
a wheelchair when you need him?
I've got the wheelchair. Hopefully I won't need it after tomorrow.
There you go. So in this match, I imagine they're both going to try to out-heel each other, like with all the dirty tricks you can imagine.
Yeah, of
Even
course.
even though Max is technically a babyface right now, he says that he's still a scumbag. So
what he's doing right now reminds me so much though of when Austin was still heel, but everybody loved him.
mm-hmm.
That's what this is right now, and I love it.
Yeah.
That ended up disastrous.
Yes. All right. So thinking about the finish on this one, but like I said, it's just going to be a rule-breaking clinic between these two guys. I've got it where Max goes for the ring, and before he can throw the punch, then Candido hits the apron to distract him.
Mm-hmm.
So then Candido gets knocked out with it instead of Douglas. But while he's dealing with Candido, here comes Bam Bam, and I saw you light up there, Minders.
I love Bam Bam.
So you'll like this. So here's how I have it in my head. Bam Bam hits Greetings from Asbury Park on MJF, lays him out. Here comes Adam Cole. He tries to step up to Bam Bam. Bam Bam just picks him up and tosses him into the fourth row.
Yeet.
Spike Dudley style. Yeet.
Yeets.
Yes.
But he doesn't get caught up on the rope.
There goes that word again.
Yes. Then Bam Bam or MJF crawls over, hits him with a low blow, so Bam Bam's out. So he rolls out. And then when he gets up, then Douglas gives him a belly-to-belly suplex, 1, 2, 3, and he gets the win in this match.
Works.
Issues, concerns, comments?
The devil gets franchised.
MJF. Max still looks strong. You know, he got it took the triple threat to beat him.
Yeah.
But there you go. The franchise is our winner there in the main event. The ECW fans go home happy.
Yeah, and he got his ass franchised.
Yes.
In my best Shane Douglas voice.
AJ.
Bam Bam then looks at the ref and asks, "Who was that emaciated child after he eats Cole?"
Oh.
All right, so that will bring it into our first ever fantasy supercard. I enjoyed the hell out of this. I don't know about you guys. How did you feel about this?
It was fun.
It was fun. It was fun.
I think it's worth it to do this again down the road. We won't do it super regularly, maybe once every other month or so.
Well, what's our next one though? Because we already had it. We already talked about it. Isn't it like?
We decided our next one's going to be 1997 WWF versus WCW.
Yeah.
Like late 90s. Like it doesn't have to just be 97, but like I'm thinking like Attitude Era, Monday Night Wars, WWF versus WCW.
Okay.
So that's what we'll think about.
That's fun.
I think we already have some ideas.
We can get some of our dream matches that they wanted to give us later after everybody was not in their prime anymore.
Right.
Yes. All right. Well, Minders, we're actually doing pretty good. We're just now hitting 2 hours, so
yeah,
that's not too bad considering.
No, I really thought I thought this would be a little bit later.
Yeah. Well, I was conscious. I wanted to make sure we didn't spend all night. But AJ, Bret Hart pre-Screwjob versus Bret Hart post-Screwjob.
Is this before or after Goldberg?
Oh, jeez. Well, I guess we have to make a ruling. Would Bret be WWF or WCW?
Yeah, we need to figure that out.
Maybe WWF.
But we got time.
Yeah, we got time. All right. Well, we got some more business to take care of, guys. And with that, we're going to go to this. so we are going to do the JTR Hall of Fame this week. And Menders, you made a special request for this one.
Oh, it was my pick.
You asked
it was my
if we
pick
could.
time.
It was your pick.
But I did want to. I
was going to say no.
Well, because technically he's not done with wrestling yet.
True,
but he's already in a Hall of Fame. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, Menders, I'm going to actually let you take the reins on this because I have to pee. So I'm going to let you talk about Edge with Bari here. So here we go. The Rated R Superstar Edge. So I'm going to leave it to you here while I go and do this, and I will come back. I'll be back before you're done with this, so I'll be able to chime in.
Oh, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm sure. Well, you have all the pictures, don't you? So we have to wait till you come back with all the
actually,
pictures.
No pictures this time. It's just going to be
no pictures.
Your punums. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got a little bit in a rush. I got to stop talking hand.
Go. Bari, when was the first time you saw Edge?
The first time I remember Edge, seeing Edge, is going to be SummerSlam 98 when he tagged with Sable against Mark Merrow and Jackie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I believe I want to say it was his first match.
Probably was when you're going back that far, because that was before him and Christian were together. So
Exactly.
So what's your favorite Edge? Rated R Superstar, 5-second pose, or Brood?
My favorite Edge is probably going to be towards the end of his 5-second stuff with Christian when he was off getting ready to do his single stuff once he won the King of the Ring 2001. That's probably my favorite Edge. That summer he was on fire. He had won the Intercontinental Championship, he had won the King of the Ring, and he had won the United States Championship. So he was on fire that summer.
Yeah, because I remember down in St. Louis, Christian and Edge were going at it at No Mercy.
Yeah, that was
that ladder match.
Ladder match. Yeah. I remember watching it on TV. Yeah, that was a damn good match.
Some friends of mine actually went down to that one, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But you have Edge with the Brood, which the Brood is still one of my favorite factions of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely. They had that unique entrance. Gangrel had a unique look, and so therefore Edge and Christian had a unique look there in the beginning. Yeah, they were a great little trio.
To me, Edge looked more menacing in the Brood.
Yeah.
I liked his look. I liked the vampire look.
He had the whole vampire Lost Boys look.
Exactly. And I loved it. Well, we've gotten to the Brood so far, Mark.
Okay.
That's all the further we've got.
Mark, when was the first time that you seen Edge?
First time was right when he debuted in WWF. Actually, you know what? I was wrong. I do have some pictures. So there you go.
There we go. And I have 2/3 of those people's signatures.
Yes.
2/3. I need Edge. I still need Edge.
Of all people.
Of all people. But I've got Christian and Gangrel, so now I just need Edge.
Yeah, but my first time seeing Edge was right around SummerSlam 98 when he was Sable's mystery partner.
Yep. That was the same time Bari said too.
2 brains, 1 brain.
Against
against
Mark Merrow and Jackie. Wasn't a bad match either.
No, I liked Edge when he first debuted. I mean, I always have, but I was 16, so I thought he had a really cool look.
Well, but that was when
the moveset was good.
Yeah. Well, we were talking too about when he won King of the Ring, when Kurt Angle got screwed over.
Yeah. Oh, by Shane O'Mac. I remember.
Yeah, by Shane O'Mac.
With the absolute, that's Shane O'Mac and Kurt Angle though. Then it's probably one of my favorite freaking matches.
That
even though
hurts me just to watch it.
Yeah. Still one of my favorites though.
Okay, so we talked about the Brood. I gotta show this picture because
I love the 5-second. See, that's the thing. I always had a hard time with picking which one was my favorite because I felt like Edge.
Oh, I got mine.
I felt like Edge was a lot like the Undertaker, where he was able to evolve, and they might not have been the greatest, but at the time they were what the company needed.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Uh, I gotta say, I gotta throw this picture up. You talking about the 5 second pose?
Oh, Angle.
Oh
They had
boy.
so much fun.
What
Oh,
was
they
it
were
they
having a
called them?
ball.
Steve's Team Eck?
Eck.
Team
Team
Eck.
Eck. ECK.
Team Eck. ECK. But man, that WrestleMania 17, that's still one of the best matches.
It
I
was one of
hate
the
ladder
best matches,
matches, but that was so
but
good.
yeah, and that was one of the best matches that everybody sleeps on the year before at WrestleMania 2000. That triangle ladder match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That right there is what set the precedent for the TLC fiasco,
Oh,
if
and
you will.
See, Edge and Christian.
when Rhino was with Edge and Christian.
Yeah, right
Because
after
they had
after
Rhino.
ECW closed down.
Yep, they
Yeah,
had Rhino,
Dudley's had
had
Spike,
Spike, and
and
Hardy's
Hardy's
had
had
Lita.
Lita.
Yep.
So
So good.
the way I see it, Edge and Christian and the Hardys got made in that No Mercy ladder match in '99.
Yes.
The Dudleys got made in the match at WrestleMania 2000 because they were still fairly new to the company when. I know they had the tag straps, but they were still fairly new to the WWF.
Well,
And
no, Reb, you could even take a step back with the Dudleys, and the Dudleys arrived at Royal Rumble 2000 in that tag team tables match with the
oh,
Hardys.
yeah. That's back when I could stand the Hardys.
Right.
They were young and exciting back then. Now they're just old and out of touch. But that's neither here nor there. But no, that triangle ladder match though, and going into the TLC, I always thought TLC one was better than the triangle ladder match at 2000 WrestleMania. But that TLC 2 at WrestleMania 17 trumped them all. It was just so good. Plus, it was on such a huge scale.
Yeah, and it set the standard so high that I haven't seen a match to even come close to it.
Nope.
No, I've hated just about every ladder match since then, except for maybe a handful. I'll put Undertaker and Jeff Hardy on the list of ones I liked. The one they had on Raw in '02. But for the most part, yeah, it's just cringy watching these guys try to top what they did before, and somebody's gonna get hurt. I'm surprised that the worst injury I've ever seen in a ladder match was Joey Matthews getting his face torn off with that ladder.
Exactly.
Then you had. Let's see. We had another one of my favorite Edge rivals was Kurt Angle when they started the "You Suck" chant.
I was in the arena in Peoria when they debuted the "You Suck" T-shirt.
Me too. Sure was. Randy Orton made his debut. The "You Suck" the "You Suck"
Hogan
shirt came
was there.
out.
Taker was there.
Oh, that was back when Al Snow was teaming with Maven.
Yeah. Stacy Keibler gave Vince a head massage, which was off-putting.
Yeah. But that was also what got Randy in
this
trouble.
head, by the way, not the unseemly.
That wasn't
you save that for the paralegals.
Insinuated, but okay. But yeah,
well, my mind is perpetually in the gutter.
Always.
Edge shaved Kurt's head. People forget that sometimes.
The headgear that he used to wear. Oh my god.
Oh, it was so good. So good. Then Hogan ripped it off and put it on his head. King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Can we just appreciate how good that era of SmackDown was?
No kidding.
We talked about this on Gold Rush Bar. Talking about the SmackDown 6 '02.
Yeah.
And it was just so good.
Well, you had. Think of who you
though.
had though. You had Taker. You had Jericho. You had Triple H. You had
Hogan. He added into
Hogan.
it too.
Right. Brock eventually.
Brock.
Yeah.
Angle.
Brock.
Edge.
Yeah.
Booker T.
Young Cena. Young Orton.
Young Orton.
The Guerreros.
Right.
Yeah.
Billy and Chuck. But then.
Oh, don't forget about Rico.
And Rico. How can you forget Rico? But no, go into July, August. That's when you get Benoit, you get the Guerreros, you get Mysterio.
Yep.
It was they were just cooking in '02 on SmackDown.
So good.
Yeah.
So then you had, let's see, then Edge. You guys might have to correct me because this is when I quit watching for a little while, but kind of still followed.
Mm-hmm.
Then did he win the Money in the Bank?
No. After 02, he broke his neck, so he was out
Okay.
for about a year.
And he was gone
Okay.
So
for
he
a
missed
How many
all
came
of
back for the
03.
Rumble?
No. You're getting ahead of me here.
Okay.
So in February of 03, he broke his neck the first time, and he was out until after Mania 20 in 04.
Okay.
So then he came back as a baby face. He had this run with the IC title.
He was on Raw.
Then
That
he
was
was
when
on
he came
Raw.
out to Living Dead Girl.
No. That was in 02.
Okay.
He was back to his original music by this point.
Oh, okay.
The You Think You Know Me one.
You think
but,
you know me?
Right. But he had feuds with Jericho and Evolution on Raw. Won the tag belts with Benoit a couple times. Then he turned heel, and then that's when he started kind of morphing into that like ultimate opportunist Edge. And that's when he won Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 21.
So I was a little out of sync.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you enjoy his work with Lita?
I'm so torn on it because I'm one of those. I like storytelling that's real life. I do like storytelling that's real life. So the fact that all of it ended up playing out and he had the big feud with Matt,
that part I liked.
I was okay with it.
Right. It got a little cringy after Matt though.
A little cringy.
Do we need to get into the celebration after he won the WWE Championship?
On Raw, the celebration?
Yeah. Yeah, cringy.
Y'all discuss it. I'm going for a bathroom break.
but
that is true. Bathroom.
I was thrilled when he won the title from Cena when he cashed in. I was pissed that he only held it for about 3 weeks.
But he had to. Wasn't he injured again?
No, he was still healthy.
Oh, okay.
Because he wound up going into the feud with Foley.
Okay.
So Cena won the belt back at the Rumble, then he held it until One Night Stand. But yeah, Edge won the belt, held it for 3 weeks, dropped it to Cena at the Rumble, and then went right into the stuff with Foley going into Mania.
Is that when he dropped it in Canada?
No.
So that was later. Okay.
That was the TLC match at Unforgiven.
Okay.
But yeah, I know you don't like the deathmatch stuff, Menders, and the hardcore stuff. What did you think of the match with Foley at WrestleMania?
Okay, so I had to go back and watch it because that was when I kind of quit watching for a while.
Uh-huh.
And when I went back and watched it, it was cringy. It was real cringy. But it was okay. I was okay with it. It wasn't my favorite match by any means, but...
Did you like the fire?
They didn't light the fire. Don't you remember on ENC when they had their show, when they had the podcast, they had a song that said going through the flaming tables, and they didn't start the fire. It was great. I miss
Lita.
Oh, yeah.
But
I don't think they should have done that match. I know Mick now goes back and he says he hated that match because he was so disappointed in it. Yeah. Just because he couldn't do what he wanted to do to help. Yeah. So.
Yeah, the match he had with Orton at Backlash 04 was way better.
Yeah.
Foley, I mean. So anyway, Edge wins. Edge helped Van Dam beat Cena at One Night Stand for the title. I loved because he came out, he had the helmet and the trench coat. You didn't know who it was until he speared Cena and took the helmet off. Because the fans hated Edge during his match because it was him and Foley against Dreamer and Funk.
Yeah.
So everybody was just hated on Edge. But then at the end of the night, they were chanting. What?
I said Foley and Edge were co-hardcore champions.
Yes. But at the end of the night, they were chanting "Thank you, Edge" because he helped Van Dam win the title.
Well, you take the good with the bad.
That's true. Edge and Van Dam had a really good match at Vengeance that year, like the next pay-per-view for the title.
I could see that.
Yeah, it was really good, and it was back when Van Dam had both belts because he didn't want to give up the WWE title because it spins.
Right.
His words.
Hey, I got this one and it spins too.
Yeah. Then Van Dam goes and does Van Dam things, gets suspended, so he So they had to take the belt off of him. I was actually surprised. I thought they were just going to put it right back on Cena because that's what their 10 go-to use was. They put it on
Right.
Edge, and he had about a 3-month run with it. Well, maybe closer to 2. But yeah, they did the. I love the feud with Cena at this point when Edge went to his house and slapped his dad.
Yeah. This is when I really enjoyed it because this is when Edge beat Cena in Boston, didn't he? And then
they did
everything kind of happened. They just changed everything, and that was when you didn't win in your hometown all the time.
Right. Barry, what'd you think of this belt?
We all know how I feel about the spinner, so slapping a Rated R sticker on it didn't make it any better.
Yeah, when they said that he was debuting a custom belt, I was hoping it wouldn't have the spinner. You would have thought it'd be a little bit more Edge-like. It just seemed like it was just they forgot what they were gonna do till the day of, so they just took a belt out of the crate and put a sticker on it.
Exactly.
But
guys, have you ever seen one of those spinner belts in real life?
No, I try to avoid them.
First off, it looks like a damn toy, and then when you pick it up, it weighs about 25 pounds. It's so.
I'll say it looks heavy as hell.
It's so heavy. It's so heavy.
Yeah.
I had a client. I had a client years ago when he had the smoking skull belt and he had the spinner, and I said, "Jesus Christ, this thing is gaudy, awful, and heavy. Get it out of my sight."
Was it JBL that called the spinner belt a gimmick sideshow?
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. For them to, and I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but for them to have it for 10 years, they had that.
10. Yes. 10. Well, no, 8 years.
Close enough.
05 to 13. Long enough.
Oh,
and I love that undisputed belt. The one that they retired. That was such a cool belt. We're going to do an episode on that belt sometime, Bari.
We will, yes.
On Gold Rush YouTube. Check it out.
But what we won't be doing is an episode on on that spinner catastrophe.
I think we can avoid the spinner. It may come up. I think we're going to do a belt. We're going to do a belt. We're going to do an episode on custom belts at some point, and that may come up in conversation. But we're not going to devote a whole episode to the spinners. No. So Edge has a run of about 5 years where he's either world champion, he's in the hunt for the world championship, or he's hurt. One of those 3 things was happening the entire time. And I forget how many times they said he held the world title. Was it 11? I think it was 11 times.
Sounds right.
So he built up quite a legacy between 2006 and 2011 with that title.
Yeah.
Well, both titles. He held world title and the WWE title. But
why did he have to try to marry Vicky?
I don't.
Ultimate opportunist. He was right. He was digging down to his bag of tricks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just weird.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Although the video montages were funny as hell, though, when they were on the swing set and at the picnic or whatever, it was just cheesy, and I laughed at it. I'll admit it. But
we're in heaven.
So we got to bring it up, Minders. The night after WrestleMania 27, I think it was.
I cried.
Nobody saw it coming.
Nope.
Oh, in fact, AJ fact checked us. It was 11. Thank you, AJ.
Thanks, AJ.
Yeah. It came. Number one, he was a SmackDown guy, so he was coming out on Raw, which I thought was weird at first until he made his announcement. Just took everybody by surprise. Nobody knew. I mean, we all knew he had neck problems, but nobody knew how severe they were at the time. And then
he went bye-bye for a while. Got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. 9 years later, debuts at the Rumble. Huge pop. One of the biggest pops I remember.
We were.
Were you at my house?
Yeah, I'm about to say AJ and I were at your house and we all popped for it too.
So I was
Remember
watching
the
it in
shirt
Narge's
I was
house.
wearing? I remember
Yeah.
the shirt I was wearing because it
Yeah.
had been speculated he was coming back. So I was like,
What shirt were you wearing?
I have the "You Think You Know Me" shirt from
okay.
like 0102.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I have that shirt. I wore that shirt that night. I was like, if he comes back, I want to be able to say I wore the shirt. I knew it was going to happen. So
I was wearing my Zubaz that night, but I forget
No.
what shirt I was wearing.
there's a shocker.
Me and Narge were both rocking the Zubaz, watching the Royal Rumble in his house.
I can imagine
I
that.
tried to talk him into getting the boys their own pairs of Zubaz, but I don't think Rachel was going for that.
It's kind of
I may have gotten rolled eyes from Stacy when I suggested it.
that doesn't surprise me.
Remind me after the show. I've got to send you a picture of what I was wearing yesterday because it was ridiculous.
Okay.
But ridiculously comfortable. But
Well, that's all that really matters.
Stacy said I looked ridiculous. So, anyways, that's just a little teaser.
But yeah, when he retired though, I was a mess. When he retired the first time.
Yeah.
I was a mess. I was heartbroken.
Yeah. Do you think? Oh, sorry.
Oh, it was just it's kind of like what happened with Daniel Bryan or Brian, however you want to say his name.
Daniel Bryan.
He
Byron
didn't want to
Dragonson.
be. He didn't want to be done. He was forced to be done.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad he got to come back and kind of do things on his own terms.
I'm so glad he got to come back.
Now they haven't said if he's retired yet. He may still resign.
Right, and he's
got a contract in his inbox, I guess, but I think they're just far apart on money.
Well, and I mean that's fine. I get it. I don't even. You know what? I don't even know if it's even for money. I wonder if it's not for schedule.
Maybe it could be because he's got his girls and
he's got his girls and they're getting older and I'm sure he doesn't want to be away from them. So
right. Do you want to see Edge go to AEW?
No.
I'm torn.
Oh, I know why you're torn. You want Edge and Christian back.
I want Edge and Christian back so bad. But here's the thing though. I don't know if it's going to be worth it or if it should just stay in my memory the way Edge and ENC was. Like, I'm afraid that Tony will gunk it up so badly that I'm going to hate it.
He may.
And
Maybe Sexton Hardcastle again. AJ called me out. We forgot to talk about the match Edge had with Taker at WrestleMania 24. For the world title, which is one of my favorite WrestleMania matches. So I think we need to discuss that a little bit. That's one of the few times I thought Edge or Taker might lose.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of Taker matches at Mania where I thought. AJ says, well, Edge never knew his father, so beware of him being around the current Christian.
Very true.
And also, Edge's mother did pass away, so he could always pivot a little bit and go the mom route.
I don't think Christian would do that. Not to Edge.
No.
They've known each other. I mean, shoot, they traveled around Canada when Rhino was still with them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you ever heard the story where Christian got speared by Rhino while they were stuck out on a frozen lake.
Oh, I've heard they had a lot of adventures on those ice roads when they would get stuck.
Oh, yeah. So it's like, how can you... You say that, AJ. I don't know if he would. I'll give Christian benefit of the doubt on this one.
I think Christian would do it if Edge gave him his blessing.
Right. If Edge said it was okay, it would definitely be a shoot. But
I think Christian might be the only guy that could get away with that.
Probably.
The only reason I would want to see Edge back is if we could get Edge and Christian against FTR. To AEW.
Yeah, I think FTR would respect him enough.
Yeah.
To work with
business.
them. And I think Edge and Christian would respect FTR enough.
I know Edge would.
To do the same thing. Yeah. Because Edge is a big fan.
That's it.
Smart ass. But because Edge and Christian both are big fans of FTR.
FTR helped Edge get back in the ring.
Yeah, well, and they were big fans of the Revival back when ENC was doing the podcast. So,
because I know when Edge had his second major neck surgery, like when he was getting ready to come back to the ring, those guys came to his house and they worked
Yeah.
out with him. So it's kind of up there with Sheamus on the bicycle.
That video is hilarious.
All right. So presently, Judgment Day is a big deal on Raw. How did you feel about Judgment Day when Edge was a member?
I wish they would have let Edge run with it. I really
Look at
do.
that. That's a cool looking group right there.
I don't know what happened there with creative.
I think they needed a babyface because Cody got hurt.
Huh? Well,
I'm convinced because that's right when Cody got hurt and they needed a babyface. So I think they just pivoted to Edge.
But
and I get it.
I didn't like the fact it was Finn.
Finn was not a choice. I think Cross would have been a better choice.
Or Mac. Well, but the problem is you have to have somebody in there that's going to have some pull with the higher ups and believe that there's pull in the higher ups. Because this was right at the beginning when Priest and Rhea hadn't really got super established yet.
Right. Now look at that. Edge looks like a leader there.
He does.
There's a clear-cut leader. Nowadays, there's not a clear-cut leader in the Judgment Day. Some say it's Finn, some say it's Rhea.
Priest. Well,
I've decided it's Rhea.
It probably is Rhea, actually. It probably is
the biggest
Rhea.
balls in that group.
Mm-hmm.
They're on her chest, but yes.
Big breast ones.
But yeah, I wish they wouldn't have. I agree with AJ. I wish they wouldn't have kicked Edge out. I think Edge had a lot. There was a lot of stuff that Edge could have done with it.
Oh yeah.
And I get that he was getting tired of the
supernatural stuff.
The supernatural stuff. If they would have just kept it as Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I think it would have been fine, but when they started going supernatural, that was when I kind of on Judgment Day.
I kind of checked out. Then they kind of pivoted, and then they got on the right track after.
And then when they got back on the right track, I was okay with it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
All right. Yeah. Well, Menders, this was a fine choice for the Hall of Fame. This episode. We're all Edge fans for sure, so
definitely
it was a good call. And I don't think that nickname's going to catch on, AJ. How Rhea Big Dick Energy Ripley is the leader, but Damien is the underboss. I like Damien as the underboss. That's a good call.
Yeah.
He's got the briefcase.
Yeah.
Then Dom is the jabroni.
Dom's the one there to eat the pin.
And to get the heat.
Yeah. And then you have Finn.
Right. And Finn, I love Finn, but it still seems kind of like an odd fit for him there.
Yeah.
Now, I like heel Finn, but I don't know about Judgment Day Finn.
But maybe JD will bring some more to it, to where, I don't know. We'll see.
What?
Oh. But AJ and Balor is there also.
Yeah. Finn, the wife just told me she wants Finn and Becky to start a faction of Irish people.
Well, okay.
The Fighting Irish.
Might upset Seth a little, but okay.
Gangs of New York, eat your heart out.
There you go.
He has a top hat. He gets the mustache.
So, Mark, how about you? You and Bari will have a lot more to say on this top 10 list than I will. So let's move on to the top 10 list.
Let's get to that. Hey, we might be done with this by 9 o'clock. What do you think of that?
That's awesome, because I haven't ate yet.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry too.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. All right. So,
before we start, I like AJ's idea.
Oh, hang on. What did you say? Oh, here we go. Becky Finn Shambo. I guess that means Sheamus.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Finn Shambo, the Irish World Order.
I like it.
Stacey likes it. She's approving in the background.
Okay, good.
All right. So here we go. Top 10 Tuesday. In this week's subject. And because I forgot to do an actual banner here. Greatest ECW feuds. Since we did Impact last episode, and we talked a lot about ECW today, so I figured why not do top 10 ECW feuds here. Now, I actually do have a couple honorable mentions that I'm going to throw out there before we get into this.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying this because he's coming on the show in 2 weeks. Tommy Dreamer and Just Incredible had one of my favorite feuds in ECW.
Sorry.
I talked about Incredible getting heat. Justin getting heat on Dreamer was just a gold mine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Dreamer was the baby face of ECW.
Yeah. And the other one, Sabu and the Sandman. That Stairway to Hell match that they had is just ungodly. So those are my two honorable mentions.
The Stairway to Hell match. Okay, so that was the match that Sandman was tripping on acid, right?
I think it was.
He thought Sabu was a giant lizard.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to Sandman and get the scoop on that from the horse's mouth. Or the lizard's mouth, if you will.
Yeah.
The lizard's mouth.
The lizard's mouth.
Oh, Sandman. Well, he was always half drunk when he went to the ring anyway.
Exactly.
He drank half a six-pack before he got there.
That's right. Half of a six-pack. He'd spit it out.
Drunk, among other things.
Yeah.
Yes. I still don't know how Tommy Dreamer trusted Sandman enough to let him build the scaffold before that Brian Lee match at High Incident. Because Sandman built the scaffold and it was just kind of swaying all over the place if you watch that match. It was just a platform on like 4 chains. It wasn't the corny scaffold from Starrcade. God. I would have said, fuck that.
Yeah, no.
I think there's a reason they stacked tables up 6 high, so they'd have a long way to fall if they fell off of it.
Exactly. No, you get up there and you try it.
Oh, AJ has a quote. Quote, you talk about ECW being sex, drugs, rock and roll. The other guys were there for the girls. I was there for the drugs, Sandman.
Yes. Hey, we saw Sandman at the expo too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, he didn't wrestle, but he was there for doing the signing, doing the panels, all that stuff.
I'm not sure he could have wrestled, honestly.
Probably not. He could have come out and swung his stick.
Yes, he looked a little rough.
Oh, anyhow, y'all.
Time has not been kind to the Sandman, but that's neither here nor there. All right, let's get into this list because I said we were going to be done by 9. If we keep lollygagging, it's going to be 10. So let's get into our list here. Number 10, Minders probably won't care for this one too much. Axel versus Ian.
The rotten mania.
Yeah.
I don't even know who Axel is, but I know who Ian is, and no, I'm good. You guys discuss.
Well, Axel got more steam after the Bad Breeds, but Axel and Ian were the Bad Breed. They were a tag team in the early days of ECW. Later on, Axel was teaming with Balls Mahoney in like the later part. But at this point, these guys were just like a hardcore tag team. They feuded with Public Enemy and the Gangstas and all those guys, often using plunder, believe it or not. Both guys could wrestle, but they just chose not to. It was just, they made more money doing the weapons, so they stuck with it. And eventually they lost a losing team, a split up match, split up. Ian blamed Axel, Axel blamed Ian, and they wound up going in, and they had, I think it was the feud of the year from PWI in 95. And it was just like, they'd have barbed wire baseball bat matches, all kinds of gimmick matches. And the blow off was the first Type A death match. Broken glass glued to the wrist tape.
To the wrist tape, yeah, absolutely appalling. But hey,
I got a feeling that they got a lot of input on this match.
Yeah.
AJ chimed in. Ian Rotten did introduce the world to Mickey Knuckles, so I'll give him that. That's very true.
Yeah, I'll give him that. I love Mickey Knuckles.
He also said Corny hated this one. Yeah, this is not Corny's forte, the Type A death match.
No.
But anyway, I put that on there. Just number 1, it was a feud of the year, and the match is so notorious, I had to put it on there at number 10. Number 9, not horribly different, but very different. Public Enemy versus the Gangstas. This was like the first big tag team like feud that they had. The Gangsters just coming out of Smoky Mountain and going to ECW.
Right, all the nuclear heat they got down there.
New Jack scaring everybody just by talking.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite moments are watching New Jack cutting the promos in the ring and Jim Ross just looking at him. It's like, good God, what's he going to say next?
Yeah. Well, New Jack was a little off. Just a little.
Yeah. Mustafa was the voice of reason in that tag team. And then Public Enemy. A lot of people have opinions on Public Enemy, for better or worse. Ted Petty, Rocco Rock, is one of the more underrated workers in wrestling. Same deal. He knew where the money was. The money was doing the hardcore stuff. But he would wrestle in Japan in the '80s as the Cheetah Kid, and then I think he was on Team South Africa in the Pat O'Connor tournament at Starrcade, if I'm not mistaken. But so he could wrestle. Just like I said, he knew he knew where the money was. Oh, AJ is chiming in here. In Smoky Mountain, the only instructions Courtney gave Jack for his promos was go make white people mad, and he did.
And he did.
Oh boy, he
Roger. Did. Oh boy, oh boy. All right.
Gotcha.
Yes. All right. So number 8, we're getting into the later years, kind of the more mainstream accepted ECW, I guess you'd call it. Tajiri versus Crazy.
When I was doing my little bit of research, this was number 10 on their list. So yeah.
Okay. I almost went with Tajiri versus Crazy versus Guido, but I couldn't find a good picture.
Oh, Guido.
Exactly, and it's like how many pay-per-views did these two start? You know?
Oh, several. I think they wrestled just about every pay-per-view in 1999, either as a three-way or one some pairing of the three.
I think what I read is they had like 40 matches.
I believe it. Guido also, by the way, maybe the biggest feat in ECW. If you ever look at his feet are friggin' gunboats. And I just remember, and I think it was on SmackDown, maybe Joey and maybe it was ECW, like WWE ECW, but it was Taz and Joey doing commentary, and the feet came up, and Taz said something about how big his feet were, and then Joey said, "Congratulations to Guido's wife."
Oh, I shouldn't have taken a drink when you said that.
I saw you starting to go like, oh shit, she might do a spit take, but no luck.
That is true. AJ has a good point. I remember that. That was at War Games. That was at War Games down in Noble.
Oh wow. So Super Crazy rolled out to the ring to hit the dab pin during a match with Gary J. It
was Gary J. and Victor, wasn't it? Victor, Gary J. and
so.
Super Crazy?
Yeah. So.
A junior title match?
Yeah, would have been, because Victor would have had the title. That was before we got... Yeah, because that would have been... That was in May of 21. I think.
AJ says, Victor may have been involved. I've drank since then.
All right, talk amongst yourself. I'm going to find out.
All right, well, let's move on to the next thing on the list here, Bari. One of my favorites here, number 7. Shane Douglas versus Taz.
Yeah.
This spanned multiple championships, multiple years. It was a good 3 or 4 year feud.
Multiple belt designs.
Yeah. Taz beat Shane for the TV title and the world title in that span. That's when Taz introduced the FTW belt because he thought Shane was ducking him.
Yep.
To be fair, Shane was hurt.
He was hurt, yeah.
Yeah. I loved the promos back and forth between the two of them. It was kind of... Without getting into the hardcore stuff, this was the best, counterbalance in the company. You had Shane, who's like the traditional heel, and then you got Taz, who throws in the judo and the suplexes and all that stuff, and putting them
Fight
together.
Night Babyface.
Yeah. And I'm chuckling at Candido in this picture, just taking it in.
Well, I want to see. Hold on, let me switch back. Yeah, I like that.
I love the angle in '98, right after Shane got hurt, and then between the time Shane got hurt and when Taz debuted the FTW belt, when Taz attacked Shane at WrestlePalooza and took him out before his match with Al Snow, and you wouldn't have believed that Taz was the baby face on that show because the crowd was kind of pissing all over him. They were mad at Taz for taking out the heel, which was crazy to me.
Right.
Yeah. It doesn't sound right, but okay.
Right. But it was good business. And then Shane went out and had a really good match with Al Snow, even though he had a broken arm and a busted face. So credit to him. All right. Number 6 is an educational moment for Dwayne Carter. Mike Awesome versus Masato Tanaka. Dwayne said he'd never heard of Tanaka when I said he was wrestling. We had him against Moxley in our card. So both me, Narge, and I both said, go watch him and Mike Awesome. And he did. And he said he enjoyed it, but he had never heard of Tanaka before that. So
this feud is what got me back into watching ECW.
Yeah, this feud was going on when I first actually started getting to watch it live. I read about it in the magazines for years, but then once they got on TNN, I was able to actually watch the show because I didn't get the other channels where I lived at. And then I believe they traded the belt over 2 weeks on television in December. Of course, the match at Anarchy Rules, then with Taz when Awesome won the belt the first time. The Heatwave. I watched the Heatwave match last week when Tanaka put Awesome through the table on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, Awesome's head broke his fall on that power bomb.
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah. And
it was Victor, Super Crazy, and Gary J.
Okay. But yeah, and then also, can we just take a minute to celebrate Mike Awesome's mullet in ECW?
A mullet's always the best.
Yeah, the mullet of all mullets.
Yeah. If I had a little more on top, I might try it again, but I don't think I could get that lucky. I went up with the Hogan look. Oh, AJ says honorable mention for their One Night Stand 05 rematch. That was the best match on that One Night Stand card.
Yeah.
In 05. Brought the house down. Almost literally. Even though Awesome didn't have the mullet anymore. But anyway. All right, so number 5. Tommy Dreamer versus the Dudleys. I say Tommy Dreamer because he had any number of partners when he took them on, whether it was Spike or the Sandman, New Jack. But it always seemed to kind of just revolve around Tommy.
Yeah.
Dudleys put Beulah out and then just tormented Tommy up until the day they left the company. That first ECW on TNN taping, they were leaving, but they were going to leave with the tag titles, and then that's the night that Raven came back, and he and Tommy won the tag belts from him.
Sure is.
And I love that angle just because there was also the promo Bubba was cutting on Tommy right before Tommy ran into the ring. Because that's when Tommy was selling the back injury, and he was supposed to be retired. But they said all the right things to get Tommy mad enough to run into the ring, and then they beat the piss out of him.
Tommy always kind of reacted, and then I wondered if you were going to put that up.
I really liked the Eddie match on that show, but I got to give it to Tanaka and Awesome.
I like
Eddie
how
match,
you put that.
Yeah, I remember Joey saying that match, Eddie and Benoit, was the one that Paulie always wanted to have in ECW, but never got the chance to do it because they wound up going to WCW.
Yeah.
Because I think as good as the matches they had in every other company, I think they would have really put themselves over the top in ECW if they would have had a match.
Well, ECW didn't have as many restrictions, in my opinion. So
no, but they didn't need restrictions. Look at the stuff Eddie did with Malenko. It was just a pure technical wrestling match and got that bloodthirsty Philly crowd on their feet for it.
Yep.
Which is really saying something. But yeah, I love the Tommy stuff. And then also they had a fun match at One Night Stand. Tommy and Sandman against the Dudleys when they put Tommy through the flaming table.
Tommy's always going through something.
Yeah. Tommy bless his heart, he's the most popular babyface in ECW, but he's also always the guy that's going to do the job.
Right.
And usually by his choice.
Yes.
He's like the first guy to get in line to put somebody over, which I respect that about Tommy.
He knows. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta push the future. You really do.
Oh, we're gonna.
So
In 2 weeks, we're gonna ask our guests quite a bit about Tommy and the stuff he did with him, because Tommy but between '99 and '01, Tommy and Just Incredible were just about synonymous with each other.
AJ's got a point.
Facts. Oh, see, nobody got their ass whooped in ECW more than Tommy Dreamer. That's true. Except Mikey Whipwreck could make a case in the early ECW, but yeah, Tommy definitely right up there. All right, number 4. Here we go, and our first mention of this guy, Raven and Sandman. I mean, good
God,
lord,
this right here,
the angle.
This right here just felt personal, right? You involved that man's kid and had that man's kid turn on him.
Crucified him.
Yeah.
I just watched that earlier.
Oh yeah.
I did. Man, Kurt Angle was mad.
Oh yeah. Like, I'm leaving. I don't want my name anywhere near this.
Yeah.
If it happens, you're going to hear from my attorney, I think is what he said.
Yeah.
And then Raven had to go out and apologize.
Yep.
No,
feud.
That was the feud with the Dreamer when Dreamer caned the cigarette into his eye in like 93, 94. AJ.
And woman was crying and calling Dreamer a son of a bitch. I remember.
Yeah, woman, yeah. And I love the story that for a month Sandman didn't leave his house. He just stayed. He stayed in the house, didn't go anywhere. His wife answered the door. So, kayfabe. You got to respect the kayfabe. And,
right.
And then the great reveal too, when he came out in the suit, he was supposed to retire, and then he pulled off the tape and the glasses, and he was fine. And he took the cane and just beat the piss out of Tommy again.
Who else was it that did? Was that JYD?
Yeah, JYD and the Freebirds did the blinding angle in Mid-South.
Mid-South, yeah.
Sandman and Tommy.
He couldn't even see his baby girl.
Yeah.
No. I'll tell you, brother. No, I'd have to put Tommy and Sandman in my honorable mentions also for their feud too. But this one, like I said, I wish I could have put it higher just for the personal nature of the feud.
Right.
On top of it, trading the world title back and forth, the dog collar matches, the barbed wire matches, they kind of did everything. But I was a big Raven fan. Sandman was okay back then. He's grown on me since then.
Sandman was too gimmicky for me back then.
A little bit with the cigarette and the beer and the kendo stick. I remember when he went to WCW, he was Hardcore Hack.
Hardcore Hack with Chastity.
Uh-huh. Feud with Bigelow.
Yep.
But Sandman was part of one of the coolest moments I remember from ECW, which is the first time I got to sit down and watch ECW on TNN. And it was the night the Impact players and Rhino were beating on Raven and Dreamer. And then that's when Sandman came back from WCW. And he was up in the stands and the building went dark. And it was just really cool atmosphere. And then he came back and they did the 6-man, and then he was still fighting Raven anyway, even though they were all baby faces. Why did you let the drunk beat me, Tommy? Raven said in a promo. Raven was so good at promos.
Number 3. I'm gonna keep you. Minders? I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hangry. Right.
Well, I appreciate you keeping me on track, Minders. Hang on. First, AJ does have a comment.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sandman was never the best wrestler in the world. What? But when Enter Sandman plays and he's chugging beers and smoking, it's a whole vibe. That's true.
It is.
Very true. I actually like when he would use the Motorhead version of Enter Sandman rather than the Metallica version. That's just my preference. All right, let's get that picture down. Number 3. You know this is going to be on there.
Yeah.
RVD and Jerry Lynn. For pure wrestling, this was just a classic. And we talked about it a little bit earlier, Barry. Every time they would have a match, they would add new counters to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could watch you could watch these guys all three of those matches as hardcore living dangerously, hardcore heaven, then guilty as charged 01, the last pay-per-view. Those were the three, and then add the win hardcore heaven 2000 when I think that's all the singles match they had on pay-per-view, and every time they would add something new. It wasn't like you were watching the same match every time, which I really liked.
That's mad respect to the wrestlers there, because if you can watch two people go at it multiple times, you get. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier with when we were talking about the Elite and Death Triangle. It was always the same match. Yeah. You knew what was going to happen, and if you don't know what's going to happen, then it's fun.
Yeah. AJ says those matches still hold up and are entertaining to watch to this day. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the Living Dangerously match when it went to the time limit and John Finnegan was going to award the belt to Jerry on the draw. It was the referee's call, but then Jerry had to be the baby face and say, "No, I want 5 more minutes," and then Van Dam beat him. A sucker.
Sucker.
Oh, jeez. All right, number 2. The number 1 and number 2 are probably pretty obvious to everybody that knows ECW. Number 2 is Taz and Sabu.
Yep.
They didn't touch each other for a year and a half going into that barely legal pay-per-view, and still made it seem like the biggest grudge in the history of wrestling as they were going. Then they pivot. Fonzie turns on Taz, joins Sabu. They do a double turn because in barely legal, Sabu was the babyface, Taz was the heel. But then after pay-per-view, then Fonzie turns on Taz and they switch, and then Sabu and Van Dam have Fonzie. And then every time they would wrestle, they would just piss out of each other. I think Taz broke Sabu's jaw with a clothesline, not even with a weapon, just throwing a clothesline, broke his jaw in '99.
Wasn't it Taz and Sabu that they went through the ring?
No, that was Bam Bam.
Oh, that was Bam Bam. Okay.
Taz and Bam Bam.
Okay.
Yeah. Taz and Sabu, up until AEW, were the only two guys to be recognized as FTW champion. So that was one of my favorite angles. It was during the Taz Douglas feud, but Taz basically put Sabu through a table, then pulled him on top of Taz to get a pin and win the FTW title so he could get his title shot. So he broke Sabu's neck and stole his title shot with Douglas.
Good Lord.
And they were former tag team champions in '95. Back when Paul
they were. Yeah.
Still didn't like each other, but they were able to have a tag team run.
You don't have to like each other, I guess.
That's true. But Paulie's a very convincing fellow. So, all right, number 1. How many guesses do you want to figure out which one this is, Menders?
Yeah, go ahead, because like I said, this isn't my forte, but I have an idea. That was exactly what I figured it was going to be.
Gotta be.
It had to be. The years and the miles these two men put together for this, on their, those two.
And Dreamer never won.
Nope.
Raven beat him every time. He beat him psychologically, beat him physically. I think the only moral victory Tommy ever got on Raven was when he got Beulah.
Yeah.
And knocked her up.
Yeah.
But then I had to go back on YouTube. I found the WrestlePalooza '97 match when Tommy finally beat Raven. As when the show where Lawler showed up. But
okay.
But that match was kind of them playing their greatest hits. It's weird seeing them wrestle when the lighting is good. If that makes any sense. I'm used to it being the dingy old ECW arena with bad lighting. But then once they started doing pay-per-views, then they actually had decent lighting in the arena. And it just, I'm not going to say it made it worse, it just made it different. Because it was never bad.
Yeah.
And the feud's still going on today. When Raven got inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame, he DDT Dreamer on the stage.
The only person that wanted to be booed at his Hall of Fame speech.
Yes,
exactly.
Well, even when up there at Dreamwave, when Dreamer came out, when Raven was there, holy crap, man, the crowd popped.
I swear, I'm sure they're friends backstage, but whenever one of them, hopefully not for a long time, goes off to the great beyond at the funeral, the other one has to piss on their grave in front of the congregation, and the other one would not mind.
Right?
Yeah, not at all.
It's good business, pal. Just to get that final dig in there. But
good top 10, Reb.
Thank you very much. It's nice to get some positive feedback.
From me of all people.
Yeah.
All right. Give me crap.
Oh, well, yeah. It's easy, though. All right, let's pay a few bills, then we'll get out of here. ProWrestlingTees.com/JTRPod for Jumping the Rail t-shirts, some stuff from the shootout, some, and that's, we don't have the Gold Rush stuff on this page. But there you see just a handful. Get another one if you like Podigy t-shirt with the
you
big
and that
O
Podigy
there.
t-shirt.
Hey, I'm gonna get it over. I'm gonna have Big Man Chan announce me as the Podigy sometime at the show. BrainbusterTees.com.
Why are you getting announced at the show?
I don't know. Let me have this. BrainbusterTees.com/other/JTR-podcast-network. More t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, caps, fanny packs, all kinds of
There's your
stuff.
belts. There's your Gold Rush shirt.
Mm-hmm. Got the We Call Them Belts shirt. Got Giddy Mindy. We got the 01 shootout. Got the Spoon shirt. Got our Heart Foundation.
Speaking of Giddy Mindy, did you get that switched yet?
I did. Now they are available in youth sizes on Brainbuster
cool.
Tees.
Then I gotta let somebody know.
I'm sure. You got the JTR Army shirt. You got the network logo. All kinds of good stuff there. If you want to support our friend Gary Vasilio, you can get the Bearded Dragon shirt on Brainbuster Tees there. I think that's pretty sharp. Like we said, tomorrow on the 01 shootout, we have two guests coming up. We got 01 referee Kat Carter and also one of our favorite lady wrestlers, High Voltage Kat, going to be joining us. Both.
I'm going to work on that.
Split the time.
Yeah, I'm going to work on getting that sign done so that way we can have it up in the background in case it gets ripped on Saturday.
Oh, there you go. AJ, Mender praising a top 10 that included Rotten is the sky falling.
Yeah, you might want to check.
Just might be.
All right, so so we got that coming up on Wednesday. No Gold Rush this week. We're gonna push it back a week. Talking about the Ring of Honor World Title. Just personal business came up, so no biggie there. Give me more time to do my homework.
Right, same here.
Yes. And like we said, in 2 weeks, right here, we're going to be joined by former ECW World Heavyweight and Tag Team Champion Justin Credible. So we're
Barry, you need to be here for that because I can do my research, but you know better.
See what I can do.
All right.
Then the episode after that on on October the 18th, I think it is 17th. My math is hard. We're going to have Paulie Tomaselli from the Chicago area Independents joining us. So we're looking forward to that.
Is he like AAW or what is he on? So I can...
I think he's everywhere.
I
know him from IWA. He did Elite Pro Wrestling Blitz, all kinds.
Okay.
You name it, he's probably been there.
All right.
So we'll have him on. He should be interesting to talk to because there's all kinds of different things he's done in the business. Making his own gear, promoting shows, wrestling, tag teams, all kinds of stuff. And he's been doing this since he's about 21 years old. So he should be a fun chat.
I'm excited. I like anytime we can get him to pull the curtain back just a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, on those episodes, we'll have new Hall of Fame inductees, new Top 10 Tuesdays. And who knows what we're going to talk about because, Tony's always pulling something.
Doing something.
Vince McMustache might be doing something goofy to talk about.
Okay, one question to shoot at you guys just before we go.
Okay.
Is Collision watchable now? Is it still watchable?
Just like Dynamite, there's too much going on. She asked, she froze up.
No, I didn't. I'm right here.
Oh.
Sorry, my headset cut out, so I didn't hear the question.
Oh, I said, is Collision watchable anymore?
I haven't had a chance to watch. I haven't been home on Saturdays, so I haven't been able to watch it.
I watch it Sundays at work, and there's a dramatic decline since Punk is no longer a part of the show.
It's a pity.
Yeah.
They're just pulling matches out of their ass and
doing Saturday Dynamite, pretty much.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And Reb, have you had a chance to watch any of Wrestlers yet on Netflix?
I have not.
Okay.
I've heard mixed reviews on that. Sounds like Anakin Murphy was not a fan. If you go on Twitter,
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I've heard people praise it. I've heard people criticize it, so I haven't had a chance to watch it.
I'm torn. I liked it. Like, I enjoyed watching it.
Is Jack Vaughn on it?
Yes, he is.
With his mustache?
Yes.
And thigh slap?
But he's more of a back character. There's a Hayase. Is that his name?
Hayase?
Hayase. The
Hood Ninja.
The Hood Ninja.
Yeah.
He's been on there.
Okay.
We actually saw him. Barry and I seen him at a Shanks retirement match at UWC in Homer.
Oh, okay.
So I knew who he was. But it's kind of interesting to watch it and to see if these people actually do anything.
Do.
Yeah, do. I'm torn on their lead character. I Miss Hollywood Haley J.
Haley J can be something, but she's got to put that weed down.
Yeah, she's got to put the weed down.
She's got to put that weed down.
Yeah, I think he did beat up Marvin.
Didn't Isaiah beat up Marvin?
I'm pretty sure he
Marvin,
did.
I've got a proposed new nickname for Marvin. Mr. 501. Poor Marvin didn't make the PWI 500, even though he won a world title in the evaluation period.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing we didn't talk about, but we're not going to now because we've already paid the bills. So.
Yeah. There's not much to say about the PWI 500.
Well, it was nice to see a lot of the guys that we know too. Like we saw, there was quite a few people on there that we have seen in the ring and talked to.
Did you hear Corny mention beef on the podcast?
At 369, beef. On that note,
yeah. Do I need to watch? Is it going to make me mad, Barry?
No.
Okay. I have my opinions about beef.
I'm sure you do.
We all do.
All right. Well, I think this is a good time to get out of here. For those that watch the shootout, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Barry, thanks for helping us out. We'll see you on the next episode.
No problem.
Hopefully. All right. So for Barry, for Menders, this is Reb reminding you all life is hard, work stiff, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.